Music licensing reimagined. Long time coming, black on the bottom of my feet from running. Cataracts under my eyes from hustling. Going from buying to selling to customers. Run up the business, God is my witness. Turn up the sun up from under the sun that we maxing our limits. My mind running like Tom Cruise on an action movie. Moving a mission, they say that I'm tripping. I've been told I need a vacation, I'm finessing a visit.
Oh, what is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers, and welcome to Stat Diggers for UFC Vegas 110. We are finally back in Vegas, finally back where I've been asking to be. I mean, I'm sick of these commissions. I'm sick of Abu Dhabi. I'm sick of the commission in Canada. I'm sick of the commission in Brazil. I'm just sick of all these crooked, corrupt commissions. And yeah, the commission in Vegas is still crooked and corrupt, but it's probably the least, I'd say, crooked and corrupt commission out there. So I'm glad to be back. I think we're going to go back to normal this week, and I'm looking forward to. We got some fun fights in the small cage. Weezy, what is up? Are you looking forward to UFC Vegas 110?
Yeah, it's not a great name value card, but there's some fun fights on this card. And, you know, I mean, the best ones are the ones that we make money on. And boy, some of these last few cards have been tricky. I mean, the last one in particular, I know my picks were 4 wins and 8 losses with a no contest. So, you know, sometimes these Vegas cards are just a little bit easier to predict, and hopefully we get some more predictable results and find some wins this week, because last week was rough, dude.
Yeah, I think it was probably not my worst card in terms of units lost, but probably my worst card in terms of reads. Just got pretty much everything wrong. I mean, it's just such a weird card with a lot of weird outcomes. The only thing I got right was the Klein fight, which I didn't bet, and then the Walter Walker first round submission, which I did bet. But everything else I was just kind of off on. I thought Delgado would get the knockout. He almost did. He was like a couple move fighters away from getting the knockout. I thought Hamdi would run through Chris Barnett. That wasn't the case. I thought Gilton would, take down Volkov and finish him early. That wasn't the case. I like Duran a lot. Duran got the win, so that was another thing I got right, but I didn't make money on it. I was wrong on Amarim. I was wrong on Maxim. Just a really rough card for me, for sure. So, yeah, looking forward to bouncing back. I mean, it can't get any worse than last week. I think this is a solid card. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to breaking it down. Before we do so, if you guys could, smash the like button for us. Also, subscribe to the channel. We go live every Monday now, 10:15 Eastern Time. We are moving it back a day for a number of reasons. I mean, I can list probably 20 reasons why we're moving it back, but the main reason is my wife has a new schedule for work, and I'm basically waking up. Listen. Saturday, I woke up at 2:00 in the morning Saturday night, and then I tried to go back to sleep, and my son wakes up at 5:52 in the morning. So I was up from 2:00 in the morning all the whole day. That Sunday. Sunday was horrible. And then today on Monday, he woke up at 6:02.
Oh,
like I got like literally 2 hours of sleep. 2 hours of sleep, and I got no sleep Saturday. So it's really, really rough schedule. So my wife is off Tuesday. So my thinking is I can be up at 1:00, 2:00 in the morning Monday night, and then I'll get to sleep in on Tuesday there. So sleep is important. I'm not a morning person, so that's one of the reasons. The other reason is just a lot of work. We haven't got to enjoy a Sunday easy in 4 years?
Oh,
4
God.
years?
How long have we been doing this show?
Like probably
2021, I think, maybe since 2021.
Yeah, it's been
a
long time.
Like we were doing it during the COVID cards, weren't we?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, we haven't had and it's a grind, you guys. I mean, it's a grind because the UFC doesn't take a lot of weeks off, but Brady and I, we don't even get 24 hours off. By the time that card ends on Saturday night, we're going to be doing Stat Diggers on Sunday night in less than 24 hours. And frankly, we're sick of it. We need a day off too, so I think that maybe going forward Monday, and we'll be more prepared for the show too.
Yeah.
But I can't keep redlining and doing this shit 7 days a week,
Yeah.
It's too much. So I think maybe moving it back to Monday night makes a little more sense, especially during football season, and we're closing out the year here. We're coming, we're less than 2 months away from the end of the year calendar wise. And I think we've only got like maybe 5 more cards in the year. So
yeah, 5 cards for you and 6 cards left.
6 card. Yeah. I'm gonna take that last one out for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, it's rough, man. You get fucked on Saturday. You got to get up in the morning at 6 o'clock in the morning, and then you get fucked all day Sunday with NFL and the bullshit refs and I hate football so much. I get more tilted about football for some reason than MMA. It's wild, but I'm like, the refs ruin the league. It's like a guy scores, it's a flag. Anytime something good happens, it's a flag. It's like, why are you throwing so many flags, man? Let them play. Let them play.
I know. It's infuriating.
And then I had a parlay that was going to win. I had 3 different parlay. It was tight end week. So I was doing some fun tight end parlays, and I had one parlay for $1,200. I needed K-Dot to score. He scores. They called a touchdown on the field, and then they go back and review it. They say he's short. I don't know if there was enough evidence to overturn that, but yeah, K-Dot, I was this close from, I think, almost $3,800 if K-Dot would have scored. This close.
Oh my God. And like, I remember when I was watching that play happen live, I was like, there's no way, there's no angle where they can overturn this. And then I see an angle that looks like it's taken from a blimp, like about 3 miles away from the stadium that's on the goal line. And it looked like maybe he was a quarter inch short. I don't know, man. It's the shit that they pull. It's crazy.
Yeah, but we'll get into the chat in a second. First, we have to let's investigate. They're investigating the NBA now. Shout out to them. Yeah, good. Next is the NFL, and we need to investigate Michelle Pereira. We need to investigate Dan Murgley. Let's investigate everybody. Everybody needs to be investigated. Weezy, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the corruption. It's clear. It's right in front of our eyes. I've had it, but we'll get into the chat in a second. What we'll do is we'll do a quick recap of last week. I just want to move past last week, and I mean the card. It took years off my life. I had to wake up, like I said, like 6 o'clock in the morning, and then watch the fights from 10 to 5, 6 in the evening. And it was just a long, dragging card with just terrible results the whole time. So I just want to move past it. The piping of the week was 2 weeks ago. The piping of the week was Tom Aspinall to pipe Cyril Gahn on site this Saturday at 3:21. Ended up being a no contest. And the piping of the week pushes. The first pegging of the week loses. I got to give props to Mizuki anyway. I'm looking forward to seeing her back in there in 2030. She looked really good. She looked a lot better than I expected. The takedown defense held up, and Amarim kind of didn't really have an answer to really anything. I mean, if anything, Mizuki looked minus 500. So yeah, shout out to Mizuki. Anyway, we'll see you again in 2035. And then the parlay lost. We had Amarim with the under in the Jalton fight. Went 0-2, both of those lost. So, and by the way, you guys can vote to see who needs to get help. We have 4 options. Jalton Almeida potentially might need help after what he did on Saturday. One of the very few fighters you'll see with well over 10 minutes of control time lose a fight, but he managed to do it. Jack Lambert's up there. Hamdy's up there. And I put Tom Aspinall just because he's a big talking point this week. A lot of people on Twitter saying he looked for a way out, all that. But yeah, those are the 4 names up there. So for me, I kept it light-ish. I should have kept it lighter. I took a lot of plus money sprinkles. I took a sprinkle on the Ozat Maxim submission prop. Not even close. I took a unit shot on the Wood Delgado fight ends by knockout. Very close. Very good bet. It was a couple move fighters away from cashing there. I took a half unit shot on Duran KO. Not really that close. She did land some big shots, but Verna seemed to eat them well. I took a unit shot on Umar inside the distance. Not even close. It was actually Batista that was closest to finishing that fight. Took a shot on Jalton 1-2. And that's about it. I did have a 2-unit bet on Amarim in a parlay, and with the under in the Volkov Almeida fight. That went 0-2 and lost. So yeah, horrible night. The only bet that I had that hit was I had the Walter Walker under 1.5, same game parlay. Walter Walker under 1.5 and sub. That was plus 255, and I had 0.75 units on that. So that salvaged the night a little bit, but still down a little bit over 5 units for the night. And honestly, it could have been a lot worse. I could have lost a lot much more had I went heavier on the card. So it was a crappy night, crappy results, and I'm looking to move past it. Weezy, what are your thoughts on UFC Abu Dhabi?
Yeah, my thoughts are that I sucked out there, and my results reflected it. I had 3 money line bets. I had 1 unit on Junyong Park at plus 200. And man, when Ikram went back to the stool after round 2, I was like, oh, he's dead. Junyong's gonna get him. But I mean, like, Junyong just couldn't stop the takedowns there. And congrats to Alaskarov for showing that he could go the full 15 at in the UFC and wrestle in all 3 rounds and do it successfully. He looked pretty good, I guess. And I had a bet on Jailton Almeida, 3 unit money line bet at minus 180. And I'm furious with Almeida. I'm absolutely furious because, like, my read on that fight was that Alexander Volkov has the balance of a baby giraffe, and that Jailton was going to be able to take him down literally whenever he wanted to, and that all he had to do was, when he got on top, either, look to land some ground and pound, make him uncomfortable, and then maybe get to a dominant position and look to finish the fight. But if you can't do that, at least do enough with your top time to win the minutes and bank the rounds. And yeah, how many minutes of top time? 11 minutes, 12 minutes?
It was up there, man. I mean, it was pretty much controlled the entire fight. It was 10 minutes and 47 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, and it looked like he was trying to lose by not doing damage. Like, it looked like he was on purpose not trying to do damage. Like, that's how little urgency that he showed. And it was just infuriating. And I'm going to say something that's probably going to infuriate the entire chat, but I really do believe it to be true, Brady. I think Jailton Almeida could easily be heavyweight champion of this division.
Oh,
Look, there's nobody that could stop his takedowns. He's throwing these guys around like a sack of fucking wheat, every single one of them. And it doesn't matter if they're a good grappler or not. He was throwing Blades around like it was nothing. Blades was wearing them like a cheap suit for the entire first 5 minutes. And then there was that one little place where he got stuck. Fight ended. Volkov had no chance. Volkov was not stopping any of the takedowns at all. I mean, if he stopped one, he just strung them together and got the next one. There's nobody in the division that stops his takedowns. If he were to take down Cyril Gane, he'd be fucking putting his head through the canvas if he learned how to throw ground and pound. But Jailton needs to fucking switch camps. This camp that he's at, Galpao de Luta, is known for being a camp that pads its fighters' records by putting them into demo fight. That trash organization in Brazil where they're fighting in malls and the camera is being shot from like the 3rd floor somewhere with no commentary. That's where these guys are fighting. And if he went to American Top Team and learned how to have a little bit of confidence in his striking and then learned how to put some ground and pound together with his takedowns, I seriously don't think that there's anybody in the division that could keep this dude off of him, because everybody's so fucking unathletic in this division. A guy like Jailton, who should be a 205er, can just dominate them because he's got the best wrestling in the division. So it was an infuriating loss for me to lose that money on Jailton, because it should have been an easy win for him, but he showed no urgency on top. And Volkov did most of the damage in rounds 1 and 3, and I thought he deserved to win. So, I'm just pissed off at Jailton because that should have been an easy fight for him. I took a small shot on Duran KO, quarter unit, lost that. I took a small shot on Junyong Park KO, quarter unit, lost that. Took a half unit shot on Azat Maxim by submission, lost that. And then, my probability parlay hit 2 out of the 3 legs. The 3rd leg that didn't hit was Jailton's money line. I had a 0.75 unit bet on Rombeski to win by decision. And he won 1 of the 3 rounds, but, Ludovic won the other 2. And if he would have won that fight, Brady, it would have been a finish, because if he had gotten up off of him in the 3rd round, Ludovic's ankle was broken. He wouldn't have been able to stand up. Fight would have been over. So I don't think that bet would have hit. And then I parlayed Jacqueline Amorim too. I don't know how she lost that fight. I don't know how you lose to somebody who's fought once in the last 5. This woman has more knee surgeries in the last 5 years than she has professional fights. She has some of the worst takedown defense I've ever seen, and Amorim wasn't able to beat her. I think it's time for her to retire, and I'm disgusted that I bet on her because I have no idea how she lost that fight. That was probably my most confident read of the week. And then I had a 3-unit bet on Mackenzie Dern's money line at minus 155. That one cashed. I had a 1-unit bet on Aspinall gone to not start round 2. That rated as a cash. I don't know if it's a cash or not, actually, but yeah, down 6.11 units, Brady. Got my ass shaved out there. But, if Gilton had thrown some ground and pound and gotten that judge's decision, at least it would have been a small win for me, and I would have walked away with a little bit of money because my reads would have been on point despite the fact, or my bets would have been on point, despite the fact my fight picks were absolutely awful at 4 and 8. So, God damn it. Let's move on. That was a brutal, brutal week.
Yeah, let's move on. Indeed. Let's get to the chat, and then we'll talk about who needs to get some help. Let's see. We got Vitek, first from the building. Happy dump truck Dumont fight week. Looking forward to talking about that. We got Dixon in the chat. Brady Weezy just wanted to give you a heads up that Jacqueline Amorim is now part of our part-time co-worker of McPatchy Mix over at the local McDonald's. There you go. Maybe they'll find some success there on the deep fryer. There you go. I can see him having success there. I dumped half my account on Amorim Maxim parlay at minus 175. I need help. Put me in the pool. And yeah, I thought both those fighters would get it done. Both were like minus 500 at close. So 2 massive upsets to kick off the night there. This might be the toughest get some help pull in a while. Yeah, kind of. I think it's between Gilton and Amorim, and that's kind of what it's looking like right now. Those are the 2 closest. Got Hood Wolf week, fight week. Can't wait for that. All the times I stuck up for you, you said you were never late. This betrayal cuts deep. Oh, I was out by an hour, egg on my face. These boys are never. Yeah, we're never late. We're always on time. Absolutely on time. I gave Tom the benefit of the doubt until I saw the video he posted on his channel. His interactions with the doctors at the hospital did not seem genuine to me, like a kid trying to get off school. I don't know, man. That's a big talking point on Twitter. You open up Twitter and everybody's talking about the Aspinall fight. It's like, I don't know. I had a bet on Aspinall to win in the first 12 and a half minutes. I wasn't feeling good about that bet, so I was kind of glad it turned into a no contest. First, Gone is a dirty fighter. He tried multiple times before he accomplished the poke, so F Gone, F Herzog, take the effing point. Stop being a B. They definitely need to start taking money. Yeah, I agree. Tom looked at the clock with 2 minutes and 35 seconds left in the round. Oh, my gosh. I did not notice that. Haven't caught one of these in a minute. I'm effing hyped. What's up? Good to see you in here. RIP. Hamdi got cut. Believe it or not, Hamdi Abdelwahab got cut.
And so did Maxim, right?
Yeah, Maxim did as well, which is a shame for Maxim, because I actually thought Maxim had some upside, but he did that. He does that thing where he just fights to the level of his competition. He can go out there and fight Tagir Ulanbekov and have a 50-50 fight, and then he'll lose a fight to Mitch Raposo. It's like, yeah, I mean, get him out of the UFC. Chris Barnett apparently still on the roster, so I think we might get to see Chris Barnett's ass one more time. So that's going to be fun. Did you see Barnett's ass, by the way?
No, dude, I was up until 4 a.m. doing my stats package for my people. So I was like, I am not waking up for these trash fights early. And then when I saw the results of those trash fights, I was like, I think I might even go back to bed. And when I saw that Mizuki beat Amorim, and I was like, what the fuck happened? Was there an earthquake? I was like, what happened in Abu Dhabi? Did she get poisoned? And then I'm like, Raposo beats Maxim. Hamdi can't get Fat Barnett out of there. I was just like, whoa.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and then I was like, and Walter Walker, first round heel hook. You got to be kidding me. 4 in a row. Four heel hooks in a row. Only in heavyweight. The only guy that could beat Gilton is Walter Walker, because he would get the goddamn heel hook, wouldn't he?
He absolutely would. Absolutely. Stat Digger should be on the help poll for going 0-2-1. Agreed. Absolutely agreed. Almeida and Hamdi need equal help. Yeah, they both need some help. Did they cut the chocolate? Yeah, Peppa Pig. Walter Walker called Chris Barnett the chocolate Peppa Pig, and they did not. They did not cut him yet. Hopefully, they put Barnett in there one more time so we can try to fade him. No Chris Barnett. Yeah, we already know he needs help. He's been through a lot. Let's cut him some slack. Let's see. The pegging of the week was Tom Aspinall's eye. Yeah, he got pegged right in the eye. Not good. Walter Walker is the GOAT. He saved me big time. Yeah, he was the one bright spot of my night. Volkov saved my ass. Yeah, he won the fight by doing just a little bit more of nothing. Both guys did nothing. He just did a little bit more. I mean, that was one of the worst fights I think I've ever seen in my entire life. Jacqueline Marim is taking orders at the drive-thru. Hopefully her English is good enough to do that. I don't think she's from Brazil, isn't she?
Yeah, she is from Brazil, but I think she's been in South Florida for a while, but evidently they forgot to give her steroids.
Yeah, right. She's the only person in South Florida who's stinking. Everybody else at American Top Team's looking like they are on steroids, but her.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happened. I think she might have cancer. I'm not even joking. Like, I don't know how she fucked that fight up. I'll never know.
Yeah, I don't know. I knew once the first two fights were. I knew once the first fight was over, we're going to be in for a long day. A long day. We got Just Win, baby. Only show worth watching. Everyone else's pod is gay. Well, somebody actually called me gay the other week. I couldn't believe it. But Just Win, baby was actually the only person I saw on Mizuki Inoue.
I saw a couple other people. I saw Gambas was on Mizuki. There were a couple of Paul in my chat was on Mizuki, and I was legit like, these people have lost their minds. Like, I couldn't have been more right. I don't know. I seriously, it's that's why this is such a fun sport. Is like
fun time.
Shit like that can happen, like back to back minus 400 favorites. Like what the odds are of that, like. That if you're minus 400, you're 80% implied to win, which means you only have a 20% chance of losing. Yeah. So if you were to play a game where something is 80% chance of winning, 20% chance of losing, the chance of getting two losses back to back will be 0.2 times 0.2. That comes out to 0.04, which means it would be like 25 to 1. The odds of minus 400 favorites losing back to back would be 25 to 1. I mean, that shit is crazy.
Yeah, it was. I don't think we've ever seen something like that happen. Back to back minus 500s lose. Brady, and don't forget about K. Dotton getting called down at the 1 yard line. Yeah, that wasn't.
Brady didn't forget.
Yeah, I'm still mad about Tucker Kraft not scoring a couple weeks ago. Would have made a couple thousand there. I'm this close on hitting a big NFL parlay. Investigate the NFL. You agreed. K did score. He crossed over the goal line. I know he did score. Yeah, he absolutely. Yeah. And they rolled it a touchdown on the field. And to overturn a touchdown, it's got to be clear and concisive. No, you couldn't. You couldn't say that. You couldn't say that. Question, Brady, do you or Uncle Weezy think Tom Aspinall gave up and found a way out of a fight he was losing? I don't know. You can make arguments one way or another. I'm going to say, I don't know. I'm kind of torn, because somebody made a good point. One of the fighters came out and said that they've been poked in the eyes a million times and they'll fight anyway. But at the same time, it was a bad eye poke. So I don't know. It's tough. It's tough to tell.
I mean, I don't think he'd, that was a nasty eye poke.
It was nasty.
So like to ask somebody to go out there and continue fighting in the biggest fight of their life for the belt, with one eye, which, he probably couldn't see out of the eye. I mean, I would never say that he was looking for a way out there, because he was blatantly not just poked in one eye, but in both.
Yeah.
That was a Mo from the Three Stooges, man. So that was nasty, dude. So yeah, I don't think he was looking for a way out, and there's no way to know what he was seeing.
There's no way to know.
Yeah.
Yep. Good. Get him out of there. Get him out. I don't want to see him again.
Hit the bricks.
Almeida should never lose. He just can't figure out how to win. Yeah, I mean, here's how. Hey, let's throw some ground and pound, man. Let's throw some ground and pound. If
they get up, just do what you always do and take them down again. Like one time Goddard stood him up. He's like, all right, that's enough. Stood him up, and he just football tackled the dude down. Like as soon as he said fight, he just tackled him, and it was right back on top. Like nothing.
Yeah. I hope you guys are not trying to convince me that Almeida won the fight, because he definitely did not. I don't think either guy won the fight, but I'm fine with the decision.
I'm fine with the decision too, yeah. Yeah, I'm not fine with the decision and the fact that it cost me money. But after that fight was over, I was like, holy shit, Volkov won. So I thought Volkov won.
Yeah, I don't care. Cut them both. Cut them both. I don't want to see him in the UFC ever again, either one of them. Gus reposted the stream. And by the way, if you guys are watching on X, don't be afraid to hit the retweet. Don't be afraid to retweet the stream there. The Food Court FC, yes, sir. Love it. Love it. Let's see here. Amarim was surprising, but if you know me, you know I'm partial to women from that part of the world, so it was great to see one get a win. There you go. There you go. Weezy, owe me an apology for laughing at my Mizuki pick, brother. You didn't laugh at his pick, did you?
Oh, I laughed at it.
No.
I laughed at it.
No.
Dude, I'm telling you, Brady, I was so confident that there was no way that Amarim could fuck up a fight against a woman who has had one fight in the last 5 years, who's had 5 knee reconstructions, and who already has some of the worst takedown defense I've already seen. You know, people were like, oh, these bums that Amarim's beating don't have any takedown defense. And they're right. You look at it, it's like Polyana Viana. It's Montserrat Ruiz. It's Vanessa Demopoulos, right? But Mizuki Inoue has no takedown defense either. So I can't believe she wasn't able to take her down. I really, really thought that would be a super, you know, like you see like Jailton Almeida on the main card, you know, where they're trying to determine the heavyweight champion. So they're kind of like giving you like this grappling angle. The same thing with Mackenzie Dern and Virna Jandiroba, the only other strawweight on the card that really has any hype. Jacqueline Amarim. It looks like they're setting those things up. And I don't bet because of that, but like I kind of feel like even the UFC was like, how the fuck did Amarim lose that? You know, how the fuck did Jailton lose that? So yeah, I laughed at him, and Paul, my bad. I was fucking so wrong.
Yeah. I think Almeida won, to be honest. You can't win a fight if you're on your back for 10 to 15 minutes. Well, you can. We've seen it happen before. Not often will we see it happen, but who was that one? Oh, Demopoulos versus Kanaka Murata. Remember when Murata literally got like 13 and a half minutes of control? It was like 13 and a half. Dude, she lost the fight.
That was a bizarre decision.
That Absolutely. Was bad. Murata was actually landing ground and pound, though.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I can't believe that happened, but yeah, that was, I even remember Yi Jia when he fought Jun Yong Lee. Yi Jia had like 11 takedowns and 10 and a half minutes of control time, and they gave it to Lee. So got to do damage from top control.
We got Dan from Hat the Battle. Smash the like button for Brother Brady and Brother Weezy. Appreciate you, Dan, for stopping by. AMD has been cut from the UFC. Breaking news. Good. I mean, he deserves it. He absolutely deserves it. But you didn't watch the fight. This is how it kind of played out. and I see why they cut Hamdi. So Barnett, his game plan, I guess, was getting taken down and going into corpse guard, which corpse guard is where you're on your back, you're just going like this. He literally covered up the whole time, and he hit his face, so Hamdi would have to hit at the back of his head, and Hamdi really couldn't get much ground and pound off. And Chris Barnett, his shorts were falling down, his ass was out, and Hamdi landed a lot of takedowns, but in 2 of the takedowns he landed, it looked like Barnett's leg broke. Like Hamdi would get a takedown and Barnett would scream in agony.
Oh God!
And I thought his leg broke, and he did it twice. He's like, ah! I'm like, oh, did he just break his leg? And Hamdi still couldn't finish him. I mean, it was really bad. Hamdi put up 150 points on DraftKings. He did the Punahele Soriano versus Miguel Baeza, where he landed over. I mean, that shouldn't happen. Landing over like 250 ground strikes and you can't finish at heavyweight, especially. I mean, it was crazy. I mean, it was no wonder Hamdi got cut there. It was really bad. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, Tucker Kraft had himself a night. Yes, he did. Yes, he was in my touchdown parlay. Let's see. We got 23 Danny T in the building. Yo, Brady, Uncle Weezy, you mofos, best captors info on YouTube by far. Brady, kick us off with some Celine Dion. Maybe another time. Maybe another time.
And tell us that you didn't tail our picks last week without telling us, you know?
Yeah.
You wouldn't be saying that if you tailed our picks last week.
Yeah, it was bad. But it was bad for most people, I think.
Oh, I know. It was a bloodbath, but still, I mean, like, I stunk, and that's what I'm worried about.
Yeah, if you made out last week, I mean, I don't know. It's really, really tough. Yes, no, he did the Anthony Smith shell. Barnett did the Anthony Smith shell for literally 14 out of the 15 minutes, and he couldn't finish him. It was the most hilarious thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Man.
Okay. All right. We got to get into some fights. We have 13 fights, maybe 14 if they give Miles Johns another opponent, which would be very annoying. I mean, nobody wants to watch Miles Johns fight, so hopefully they keep him off the card. Maybe put him on next week's card. I don't know, but 13 fights as of now. And we're going to kick it off with the first fight of the night. We got Talita Alencar going against Ariana Carnolossi. We got Alencar, 35 years old, 5'1" with a 58-inch reach. Ariana Carnolossi, 32 years old, 5'2" with a 61-inch reach. Alencar, she is 3-1 and 1 draw in her last 5 fights. She had that draw on the Contender Series against Stephanie Luciano. She beat Ryan Dos Santos by decision. She lost the decision to Luciano in their second fight, and then she beat Vanessa Demopoulos by decision the fight after that. As far as Carnolossi, she is 3-2 in her last 5 fights. A knockout loss to Angela Hill, a knockout win against Liang Na, a submission win against Estela Nunez, a decision loss to Lupi Godinez, and then a DQ win against Pierre Rodriguez. So, yeah, I feel like this is a pretty, I don't want to say easy fight to cap here, but I mean, Carnolossi has just awful takedown defense. What's her takedown defense? Weezy, like
14.3%. And I wanted to, it's better than 14%, but it's 14.3%.
Okay, I didn't know it was even that bad. I was thinking it was maybe 30, but a 14% takedown defense. Alencar, the thing with her is she can get fights down to the ground. She's very physically strong. I think she's like a 6-time world BJJ champion and black belt. So yeah, she's legit on the mat. The problem with Alencar would be her cardio. With that said, she did look pretty good in the Demopoulos fight, but also Demopoulos kind of gave her no resistance. The one time we did see her face resistance in the first Luciano fight on the Contender Series, she completely death gassed. I guess the cardio would be the one concern, but I mean, takedowns for Alencar will be absolutely free. Carnolossi can't stuff a takedown. She can't really get back up when taken down. Pierre Rodriguez was taking her down and dominating her. We saw Lupi Godinez take her down and dominate her. So yeah, outside of the cardio, I think Alencar should get it done. But Carnolossi is one of these chicks that will make you work. You know, she's physically strong herself. She will push a crazy pace. And we saw in the Liang Na fight where Liang Na was having a ton of success early, and then she gassed out, and she was able to get the finish. So got to go Alencar here. I think she wins the fight. And it looks like she opened up minus 500. Money is pouring in on Carnolossi. Alencar went from minus 500 to minus 225. And Carnolossi went from plus 385 to plus 190. Weezy, what are your thoughts on this fight?
Yeah, I think you broke it down perfectly because, I mean, Alencar is going to need to take you down and get on top of you and win the minutes and moments in the grappling exchanges in order to be effective at this level, because she's undersized, her striking is ass, and her conditioning is very, very questionable. You know, so if she's not easily getting takedowns and then being able to either maintain top time or work to dominant positions where she could finish the fight, I mean, she's going to be close to drawing dead at this level. So Carnolossi, though, is somebody who's, you know, she's got 14% takedown defense. That's rough. You know, and she was losing the Piero Rodriguez fight by being on the bottom. She was losing the Lupita Godinez fight by being on the bottom. She beat somebody in Estela Nunez who has no ground game. She beat somebody like Na Liang who has, you know, about 3 minutes of gas and was able to get back up when she was taken down there. But I don't think that this is a good matchup for her. And in addition to that, she's on a 17-month layoff coming into this fight. And I mean, like, you look at Ariane Carnolossi, you know, you wonder, like, her part-time job, she's probably pulling a plow somewhere in a Brazilian field, because this woman is yoked. You know, the nickname Sorriso, I believe, translates loosely to Queen of Back Knee, because the steroids, Brady, and she's been the most tested athlete, I guess, in the UFC. Like, when USADA was there, they were testing her like monthly, because you'd take one look at her and you're like, Christ, what is this woman shooting into her ass? But she's never got caught, though. She never got caught, or at least I don't think she did.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, so I don't know, man. Like, Carnolossi might be able to give Talita Alencar some problems here. I see why the money's coming in, because, like I say, if Carnolossi gives her any difficulty at all, and she's proven that she can push a pace in that Na Liang fight, for instance. If Toledo gasses or starts struggling getting those takedowns against somebody that's built and looks like a fire hydrant, I could see Ariane definitely getting Toledo out of there later in the fight. Now, there were some rumors going around about Alencar. I don't know if they were true or not, but
so there were rumors about her, and then she went out there and looked career best.
Yeah, but it was against Vanessa Demopoulos, who might have worse takedown defense than Carnolossi.
Yeah, that's true.
So I mean, like, Vanessa likes being on her back because she's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt and she likes playing from guard.
The rumors were about Alencar's love life or something. It was something like that.
Yeah, depression, bad cardio, just like a horrible training camp, all for a multitude of reasons, is what the rumors were. But in reality, it was a tailor-made matchup for her because Vanessa has no takedown defense and no get-up game. And guess who doesn't have a takedown defense and a get-up game and is built like Vanessa Demopoulos? Ariane Carnolossi. So, I mean, this could be a rough 3 rounds for the Queen of Backney if she can't stop these takedowns or get back up when she does get taken down.
I mean, if this was a fight of who's more handsome, I mean, there's no doubt in my mind who that is.
Yeah. Yeah. God, look at that body.
Yeah.
She is yoked.
Very handsome young man there.
Oh, Sorriso means smile. I don't speak Portuguese. I must have believed somebody on that one. So my apologies. Sorriso evidently does not mean the Queen of Backney.
Okay.
That's my bad. I mean, we got to admit it when we're wrong, Brady. So.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Alencar will probably dominate the first 2 rounds. But I can see Carnolossi winning, and it would be like a 3rd round finish type thing. Because she was absolutely gassed in that first fight versus Luciano. I was actually kind of shocked that Luciano wasn't able to finish her. But yeah, money pouring in on Carnolossi. The over-under is set at 2.5. The over 2.5 minus 220. The under 2.5 is plus 186. And monies came in on the under as well. Not sure I'll be getting to a bet on this fight. Level of competition is incomparable.
Arnold.
Arnold. She does look like an Arnold, dude. I mean, that's plus 3.5 point spread in late sub 2-3 sprinkle. Alencar only's got a rear naked choke. Yeah, I don't mind late Carnolossi. I thought that Demopoulos might be able to get like a late finish too, but she just didn't do anything. It was bizarre. Are we sure that's not? No, she's a woman, I believe.
Yeah.
Your guys' podcast makes my day. I got a question. Can you two make a 2-man parlay on Prize Picks every card? 1 Brady prop, 1 Weezy prop. I mean, we could. The problem would be whether or not Prize Picks has their stuff out yet. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But
and for an Apex card, they might not even have it out until tomorrow or Tuesday.
Yeah, I know for the pay-per-views, they'll definitely get them out Monday for sure. But some cards they do wait till like Tuesday, sometimes later. Having 14% takedown defense when you're on roids is pretty sad. Yeah, it's really, really rough takedown defense. Not betting this fight. I don't think I will either. I love Alencar in this spot. Betting on Carnolossi should get you banished to Mars.
Oh, come on. You can't even eat there, Oh,
yeah. Alencar seems like the cheap version of Amarim. Well, I think Amarim's not a real fighter, to be honest. She's just not a real fighter. She needs to retire and make an OnlyFans. I mean, if Amarim made an OnlyFans, she'd have a ton of success. She's a very good-looking lady.
Yeah.
But I don't think Amarim's a fighter. DQ, yeah, Carnolossi by DQ. What do you think?
Hey, it could happen. She's lost a fight because she got a cut before. She got DQ'd in the Piero Rodriguez fight due to repeated headbutts. Yeah, it could be live. And Alencar looks like a cheater to me.
Yeah. Yeah, she's not a dude. I doubt they have. I mean, if they have Ariana Carnolossi on WikiFeed, I mean, whoever put her on there needs arrested because that's disgusting. She's on there. She's on there. Oh my God! Holy crap, Weezy! This is the worst WikiFeed score I've ever seen. Like typically, a bad score on WikiFeed's like low 4s.
Yeah,
Guess
like 3.7,
yeah.
something like that.
Guess what her wiki feet score is?
Is it in the twos?
It's in the twos. It is
2.7.
yeah, good guess. 2.75, aka the worst wiki feet score I have ever seen in my entire life.
Wow, man.
Oh God, yeah, I see why. Oh God, they look like my feet.
They're not good, huh? Oh, and you played basketball.
Yeah, they got the veins popping out. Oh God. Yeah. Oh, I got the
Well,
veiny
that's what
feet.
happens when you pull a plow half your life. Like those feet, they're going to take a beating, man.
Yeah, she got the veiny feet. Oh God, no, I don't want to. I don't want to get kicked off of YouTube if I show those feet. The veins popping out. Oh God, they look like my feet. I kid you not. Oh my God, God help us all. That's crazy. Oh, yeah, I think most of us is gonna get better than 2.75, man. I mean, that's brutal. You won't see a wiki feed score that brutal. So, luckily we're not judging fights based off of feet, because if we were, probably be a max bet on Talita Alencar after seeing feet like that. God. Okay, let's move on to the next fight, and it is Phil Rowe going against Sukho Ko. We got Phil Rowe, who is 35 years old, 6'3" with an 80-inch reach. Ko is 32 years old, 5'10" with a 71-inch reach. We got Ko 3 years younger. Phil Rowe with a 5-inch height advantage and a 9-inch reach advantage. We got Phil Rowe, who is 3-2 in his last 5 fights. A knockout win against Jason Witt, a knockout win against Nico Price, a decision loss to Neil Magny, a decision loss to Jake Matthews, a knockout win against Angelusa. As far as Ko, 5-0 in his last 5 fights. He had a Contender Series win against Igor Cavalcanti by decision there, and then he beat Oban Elliott as like one of the biggest favorites, or one of the biggest underdogs of the year there. So this is one where, I don't know, I'm still not completely sure, how good Ko really is. He put off a massive upset, and he showed off things I never expected Ko to go out there, and I thought he had like a shot to like make it competitive. I never thought Ko would go out there and just dominate Oban Elliott on the mat for 15 minutes, take him down and look like Khabib Nurmagomedov. Like that wasn't, and I didn't bet on that fight, and thank goodness I didn't, because I wasn't expecting that at all. But he looked incredible, Ko. I mean, I think this guy's making improvements. He already had solid striking, but the ability to go out there and mix in takedowns like that against Elliott was very, very impressive. On the Phil Rowe side, this guy's just a Homer Simpson. He's losing first rounds against guys like Kosi. Lost the first round to guys like Jason Witt, Nico Price, Neil Magny, Jake Matthews, Angelou. I mean, this guy's dropping first rounds, and then he kind of waits for his opponents to gas out. Then he'll start putting it on him, and he'll get come back from behind wins. Literally, all of his wins, Wheezy, are come from behind wins. The Witt fight, lost the first round, got a second round knockout. The Kosi fight, lost the first round, got a second round knockout. The Nico Price fight, lost the first round. I think he got a third round knockout there. And then the Angelusa fight, he was down 2 rounds, and then he knocked out Angelusa late, and actually picked Angelusa to win that fight because Angelusa had never been finished, and I didn't think Angelusa had that bad of cardio, and Angelusa was about a minute or so away from winning that fight. So yeah, it's for me, it's always tough to back a guy like Phil Rowe unless he's going against somebody who I don't think has great durability, and I don't think has good cardio. And Ko has been knocked out on both of his losses, but I think the takedown defense of Phil Rowe is a very big problem. I think that's something that Ko might be able to exploit here. But I don't know. This is one of those market overreactions, overcorrections potentially, where Ko was literally like plus 400. Now he's minus 200. So it's probably one I'm staying away from. But yeah, I was very impressed with what I saw from Ko in his last fight. I think he showed a lot of new wrinkles to his game.
Yeah, dude. And like what you just said is so important, because when you look at those line shifts, you realize when there is something that you could really only classify as an overreaction. You go from and I think you called him Sukho Kyo was, look at this guy was plus 395 to Igor Cavalcanti.
Oh my gosh.
On Dana White's Contender Series, right? And he went out there and he got that win by decision. And then he goes out there and he beats Oban Elliott as a plus 425 underdog. So it's not just like they made him a big underdog in his UFC debut. They made him a big underdog to a nobody that had never been out of the first round, if I remember correctly, never even been past the 2-minute mark, fighting bums and demo fight. That man, Igor Cavalcanti, was the guy he was plus 395 to. So just based on that, you look at Phil Rowe, and you got a guy whose last 5 fights were Angelusa, Jake Matthews, Neil Magny, Nico Price, the great Jason Witt, the Vanilla Gorilla. You know, he's fought at a much better level of competition, while Sukho Kyo is fighting Alwyn Kinkai and Ryuta Sakurai. One of those guys was like 63 years old, Brady. I'm not joking. Like, very, very old, probably about 70 professional fights, and I think 40 of them losses. You know, just crazy, horrible Asian regional scene competition. So he might have just kind of, overshot his ceiling in that first fight, and probably is going to come back down to earth a little bit here. And somebody like Phil Rowe, who's 5 inches taller than him, who has a 9-inch reach advantage, who's actually got a very dangerous Brazilian jiu-jitsu game, and he hits different, dude. Phil Rowe's got real power. You know, so like Phil Rowe's the kind of guy who can lose a fight for 2.5 rounds, crack you once, and you're on Queer Street, and then he goes out there and he finishes you. Because I bet on Phil Rowe last time, Brady, and you were right. He lost the first 2 rounds, and I was sitting there going, I'm sunk. I'm sunk. You're not going to finish this Lusa guy. He's extremely tough, but Phil found a way to get him out of there. Reese McKee almost got him out of there in the 3rd round. So, I mean, Rose got shitty takedown defense, so I think Ko, if he wants to wrestle here, he's going to probably be able to find some success taking down Phil Rowe. But Phil Rowe is 6'3" with an 80-inch reach, and he's a Brazilian jiu-jitsu, I think, at least brown belt. He might even be a black belt now, Brady. So I do think that he's going to pose some problems on the ground that Oban Elliott wouldn't have been able to. So I feel like Phil Rowe's the side here at plus money.
Yeah, maybe. Or I mean, instead of betting Phil Rowe, just bet the 2-3. I mean, that's how he wins. Yeah,
or Phil Rowe to win in over 1.5 rounds, like one of those type of parlay bets, same game parlay.
It's just he can't get going in the first round.
Yeah, Phil, you could tell the Phil Rowe's just out there chilling. You know, like he's very, very comfortable in that cage, and it shows because he shows very little urgency. He's very confident and he's very comfortable, and he waits for that moment to present itself, Brady. And you know what percent of the time when he wins, that moment presents itself?
How much?
100% of the time. He's got a 100% finish rate, dude.
That's true.
4 submissions, 7 knockouts. He's finished all 4 of his UFC wins by knockout. This guy finds those moments when he wins, and when he doesn't, and you bet on him, it's infuriating because he just kind of lets the round slip away by letting his opponents do more and work harder than him.
Yep. I lean Ko, but I wouldn't mind like a Rowe KO 2-3 type thing. Because I don't know, Ko showed some pretty good cardio in his last fight, and if he can go 15 minutes, he's probably going to 30-27 Rowe. But we'll see. Ko is minus 200, and Rowe is plus 170. The over/under set at 2.5. The over 2.5 is minus 125. The under 2.5 is plus 105. What is the finish only for Rowe? Finish only for Rowe is plus 130. That's not bad at all.
Wow. I'm really surprised by that because I think Phil Rowe's only been finished once in 5 professional losses, while Sukho Kyo has been knocked out twice on the Asian regional scene.
Oh, God.
Asian regional scene, Brady.
Oh, jeez.
You know, like if you're getting knocked out by the Asian regional scene guys, like at welterweight, those guys wouldn't even be like, those guys are smaller than some featherweights.
Yeah.
At the UFC level. So it's not a good thing, man. Yeah, I mean, Oban Elliott was a massive favorite against this dude for a reason.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. He looks like a completely different fighter now, though. So I definitely picked Elliott. I definitely picked Cavalcanti to win, too. So I was wrong about this guy twice. Maybe he's getting better. I don't know what to see. It's a good fight to kind of see where he's at. Sure. Ko by KO. He looked minus 500. Yeah, he did. That reach advantage on Rowe's and when this fight is at distance, I mean, Rowe's gonna have some opportunities to touch the potential chinny chin of Ko, but the worry is the takedown defense, kind of the urgency to get up from Rowe as well. I don't think he's Cavalcanti's brother, is he? I don't know.
No, because like Cavalcanti that fought Rowe, that fought Cole was from Brazil. The other Cavalcanti's Portuguese.
Yeah, I don't think they're related.
Yeah.
Ko has a paper chin. Buyers beware. Yeah, if you get knocked out twice, you might. Onama or Rowe are my potential live dogs of the week. There you go. Rowe has no urgency and knowing he doesn't have urgency until like the second round. Black belt under Julian Williams is Phil Rowe.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if he was a black belt, but yeah, that Fusion Excel camp, they got a lot of high level grapplers there.
Very good grapplers there. Luce has been getting hurt recently.
Yeah,
it was only a matter of time. Yep, he did go like 15 minutes with Bonfim, which I thought was crazy. But yeah, got hurt against McKee late, and Rowe took him out. Rowe scorecards, no action. I like it. Fun fact: the last 3 Rowe fights were in June for Juneteenth. We see you UFC, and this one's in October, right? Yeah, it's October.
No, it'll be November 1st, my friend. Oh, November 1st. We're turning the calendar page over when these fights happen.
Rowe late KO 3rd round. I don't hate it, man. That's how he wins fights. Pretty much his money line. All right. Let's move on to the next fight. We have Alice Ardellene going against Montserrat Ruiz. We got Ardellene, 33 years old, 5'3" with a 61-inch reach. Ruiz, 32 years old, 5 foot with a 61-inch reach. I mean, is Ruiz the smallest fighter in the UFC? 5 foot?
She's tiny. I mean, she is very, very small. I don't think there's anyone that's ever been listed at 4'11".
I mean, Chris Barnett's 4'11", right?
He's 5'8". I think he's
not 5'8". He's 5'5". I think Rosenstruck's 4'11". But yeah,
lied.
5 feet. It's crazy, man. 61-inch reach. Ardelene's gonna have a 3-inch height advantage, and Ardellene, definitely the thicker fighter, if you know what I mean. Ardellene is 3-2 in her last 5 fights. Made her debut against Shauna Bannon, lost that fight by decision. I kind of thought she won it. She lost against Melissa Martinez by decision. I kind of thought she won it. And then she beat Rayon Dos Santos by decision. So 3 fights, 3 very close fights in the UFC. As far as Montserrat Ruiz, she is 2-3 in her last 5 fights. She made her debut against Cheyenne Bays, won that fight by decision. Lost to Amanda Lemos, Jacqueline Mareem, and Eduardo Mara, all by TKO. So I actually forgot about the Bays fight. That was so long ago at this point.
Yeah.
And I was going back and watching it. And I forgot Ruiz won that fight because I just couldn't fathom Ruiz ever winning a UFC fight ever. But she actually beat Cheyenne Bays with that head and arm throw.
Mm-hmm.
And so she won that. But yeah, it's been tough sledding since. Knocked out by Lemos, no shame in that. Knocked out by Mora, no shame in that. Knocked out by Amareem, there's a little bit of shame in that. But this is probably one of her easier matchups here against Ardellene. But I don't know. I'm looking at Montserrat Ruiz. I'm just not sure what she's good at. On the feet, she has no striking. She has no striking defense. She throws no volume. She has no takedown defense. She has no ground game. Like, literally, she's really good nowhere. Like, I'm actually shocked she's still on the roster. Like, it kind of makes no sense to me. So they're kind of giving Alice Ardellene a layup here. I mean, this is by far going to be Ardelene's easiest matchup to date. And the line certainly reflects that. We have Ardellene as, I think, the biggest favorite on the card. Yeah, biggest favorite on the card here. Minus 400. What could go wrong? What could go wrong? But no, I mean, she should beat. I mean, to lose to Ruiz, I mean, something would have to go terribly wrong. Like, Ruiz is not going to head and arm throw Alice Ardellene 3 rounds in a row. It's just not going to happen. So, yeah, I think it's Ardellene, and she should roll here.
Yeah, and I mean, Mizuki Inoue, who has 1 fight in the last 5 years and constant knee surgeries, isn't going to beat a 7-time Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu world champion either, is she?
Yeah.
So, can Alice Ardellene stop a head and arm throw? That's the question we need to ask ourselves, Brady, because that's what this is going to boil down to, because there's literally nothing else that Montserrat Ruiz is going to offer in the UFC in order to win minutes or moments. So can she stop a head and arm throw? And it's crazy because that shit doesn't work at this level unless you're in women's MMA, because head and arm throws are fine in judo when you got a gi to hold on to, and then you can get in that scarf hold position and you're holding on to somebody's gi and you can actually stay there and you'll only get your back taken about half the time, but there's no gi, so that shit doesn't work here. You do a head and arm throw, somebody's going to take your back, and that's just how it goes. But Alice Ardellene, is not subbing anybody at this level. I mean, as a matter of fact, she's got 2 losses by submission on her pro record, and she's not a great fighter all around. You don't want to be laying -400 on Alice Ardellene, because I promise you, you're not betting on her. You're just betting against Ruiz, and it's a dangerous thing to do. It's a dangerous thing to do at this level, because you don't want to be backing fighters at that kind of an implied probability when their skill set isn't UFC level and in really any area. Ass. I mean, like, that's where she's UFC level, in my opinion. UFC level ass. The skill set, though, she throws a lot of volume.
She's not bad.
She's aggressive. She looks for the fight. So, like, she's going to be doing some things optically that are good in the cage, but not optically from a coach's eye, where they're like, look at that crisp jab, look at that beautiful footwork. Oh, look at how she turned the corner on that takedown. Nah, it doesn't look beautiful like that. It looks good in the fact that you're out there trying to hurt your opponent. You're pushing a pace. You're not looking to avoid the fight. So I think Alice should do the things that look optically better to the judges. And not just when they're looking at her ass, but when they're also looking at what she's doing inside the cage in order to win those minutes. So she should get the job done. But if she can't stop a head and arm throw, or get to Ruiz's back, if she does get the head and arm throw, this could be a very frustrating fight to watch if you're laying -400 on Ardellene.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to lay -400, but I mean, what percentage do you give a 30 or a 29-28 head and arm throw win? I mean, that I just feel like it's so unlikely.
I mean, about the same percentage I would have given Mizuki to have a chance against Jacqueline Amorim last week. And I'm not joking about that, like, because at least Montserrat Ruiz does do the head and arm throw well. I mean, like, Cheyenne Buys, when they interviewed her before that fight, they basically said, this dumb bitch only has a head and arm throw, and that doesn't work at this level. That's what she literally said, like, to Cormier and the people that were at the fighter meeting before the fight. So she knew that it was coming and couldn't stop it anyway. And when you go back further on Montserrat Ruiz's tape, it's the same thing over and over again. So it'll be funny to see if she gets away with that shit at this level. But she's on a 2-year layoff, Brady Ruiz. She's 5 foot with a 61-inch reach. She's got no striking. Dude, 27% distance striking accuracy.
I mean, she couldn't hit water if she fell out of a boat. It's like
you got that right, buddy. So yeah. So, I mean, it's a bad fight. It's a low-level fight. And I mean, if my money wound up anywhere near this fight, I would be very, very surprised.
So yeah, Ardellene -400, Ruiz +300. The over/under set at 2.5. The over juiced to -275. The under at +226 there. I guess there's only one person smaller than Ruiz, and it's Jesus Aguilar. Jesus Aguilar is what, 4'10", 4'9"?
I think Jesus is like towering over Ruiz at like 5'3".
Oh, but I think he has a shorter reach than Ruiz.
64-inch reach, I think, on Jesus Aguilar. It might be 63 or 62 even, but yeah, Ruiz 61.
I'd rather watch Hamdi. No, I wouldn't ever want to watch that again. Alice Ardellene at -380 in the UFC fight in the year of our Lord 2025. WTF, man. Yeah.
It's rough.
So Alice is at Fusion XL with Rowe taking steroids. That's a good camp for her. There you go.
Probably better than the training she would be getting in Romania.
Oh, by far.
Yeah.
By far. Tom Trashmanall. There you go. Alice Ardellene, 4 to 5 stars on WikiFeet. Yes.
Okay.
Alice by Cheeks Smothering. Yeah, she has some of the best cheeks in the UFC.
Mm-hmm.
+130. Oh, I just had my neighbor blow some meth, smoke up my asshole, and it was traveling. I thought that was the perfect bet. Dante KO round 1. What a weird comment. I mean, that's probably one of the weirdest comments I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah, to get inspiration from having meth exhaled up your arsehole is odd. It's just weird.
Yeah, and I'm not no medical expert, but I don't think meth up the asshole is probably the best combination.
Yeah, and I want to say that meth is not a performance enhancer, ladies and gentlemen. Stay in school, get good grades, Don't do meth. Those are 3 things for the young people. The wisdom that the Stat Digger's wisdom of the day.
Yep.
That we're going to drop for you.
Stay away from the meth.
Yeah.
Montserrat Ruiz is so handsome. Yeah, she's a handsome lady. Yeah, I mean, that comment kind of made me feel a little bit uncomfortable, to be honest. I'm a little uncomfortable now. I have to step out of the room, get some fresh air after reading a comment like that. Yeah. I mean, if I would have read it ahead, I wouldn't have probably brought it up on the screen. But all right, let's keep moving on to the next fight. Oh boy.
Yay.
There it is. It is officially Cedricus Dumas fight week. We got to get Dumas on the show. Well, I wonder what Dumas is doing right now. Is he in a dog crate right now? What's he doing? We got to get him on the show. We got to interview him. Just a missed opportunity. He's doing a lot of these interviews, and I want to get him on. I want to get him on the show one of these days. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and it's always a fun time. Cedricus Dumas fight week. Let's break it down. We got Dante Johnson, Cedricus Dumas. We got Dante Johnson, 26 years old, 5'8" with a 74-inch reach. Cedricus Dumas, 30 years old, 6'2" with a 79-inch reach. We got Johnson, 4 years younger. Cedricus Dumas with a 6-inch height advantage and a 5-inch reach advantage. Dante Johnson, 5-0 in his last 5 fights, all come by knockout, all in the first round. Knocked out Darian Abbey in the first round on the Contender Series. As far as Cedricus Dumas, he has 2-2 and 1 no contest in his last 5 fights. A decision win against Abu Azaitar, a knockout loss to Nursultan Ruziboev, a decision win against Dennis Tuoluen, a knockout loss to Mikhail Olazechuk, and then a no contest against Zachary Ruiz. So, yeah, looking forward to this fight. Looking forward to Dante Johnson. Dante Johnson's going to be making his debut at middleweight. And if anybody has any concerns about him making weight, don't have those concerns. This guy Johnson looks to be in the best shape of his life by a mile, and he shouldn't have been fighting at heavyweight. I mean, this guy weighed in the heavyweight fight against Abbey at like 209. This guy is, putting in a ton of work. He's definitely in shape. He's definitely going to make weight, and this is his right weight class. You shouldn't be 5'8" fighting at heavyweight. You shouldn't be 5'8" fighting at light heavyweight. I think middleweight is going to be a great weight class for this guy, and this guy has heavyweight power. This guy hits like a heavyweight. This guy's knocking guys out cold, all in the first round. His hands are super fast. He's very quick, and he's going to hit Dumas here. And I don't really think Dumas likes getting hit. Anytime we've seen him hit, anytime we've seen him battle any adversity whatsoever, he's getting TKO'd in the first round. So, yeah, I think whoever said it in the chat is probably right. It's Dante Johnson. Dante Johnson at KO1, but they are all over it. The under 1.5 is the most juiced under on the card. I think I saw it at -160. Johnson's -350 and climbing, and Johnson KO1 is only +130. So I think pretty much everybody knows what's probably going to happen. It's probably going to be a Dante Johnson KO1. Really rough matchup for Cedricus here. I think it's a lot tougher of a matchup than Zach Ruiz, that's for sure. Weezy, what are your thoughts on this fight?
Yeah, I mean, when I watch the tape on Johnson, he's just terrifying.
Oh,
I mean, like, the guy is just terrifying. So, I mean, we know what he's going to go, we know he's just going to go out there and swing absolutely for the fences, stand up Hood Wolf. But yeah, he's got the Hood Wolf on his dance card for Saturday night. And let's talk about the other side here, right? Because with the Hood Wolf, you're getting a guy that's 6 inches taller. He's got a 5-inch reach advantage. He's the natural middleweight, right? So there could be a situation where Dante Johnson looks a lot faster against these fat, slow, unathletic heavyweights, but he comes down to 185 and he fights one of Florida's finest, a great athlete, a guy who has, I mean, like, this guy's been arrested 14 times, but do you know how many times he's outran the cops and not gotten arrested, Brady?
Couple, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, more than a few, my friend, more than a few. Like, I've seen that dude tearing through the parking lot of a Church's chicken with like 3 cops in tow. And I remember thinking to myself, they're not going to catch the Hood Wolf, So the speed could be a little bit of a thing here, potentially a guy like Johnson who's winding up, on everything that he throws and literally trying to punt your head into the cheap seats. It might not work down here. The conditioning might not hold up. We don't know what this guy looks like in the second round. We don't really know what the guy's grappling defense looks like so much. His pro career, Brady, 1 year and 2 months long. And that pro career, has lasted 12 minutes. So we got a lot more to find out about Dante Johnson. So he's getting a guy in Dumas who's got 7 UFC fights, and he's won 3 of them. So we could see this being an interesting type of situation if Dumas does get an early takedown and is able to top time him, is able to wear on him a little bit, make him work in the grappling without letting him get his hands going. What is this kid going to look like in the second round? There could be conditioning problems. There could be an adrenaline dump problem. This is the biggest fight of his life. It's a UFC debut. So nerves could be an issue here. There's a lot of things that could go wrong on the Dante Johnson side for a guy who's had 12 minutes of professional experience and has just clubbed everybody so early in the fight that we don't know what he could look like later on in the fight. So I would just say, you know, we've got some more information to find out about Dante Johnson. What we know about Cedricus Dumas,
he stinks.
How dare you? How dare you, Brady? You gotta.
My bad.
He doesn't stink. I mean, like, he stinks at not getting arrested.
True.
But I mean, like, tell him he stinks to somebody like Abu Azaitar, who he has a win over. A Dennis Tialulin, who he has a win over, short notice win over Cody Brundage, you know. So he's got some wins. I mean, we're gonna find out. You know, does Dante Johnson belong here? Because if you don't, the Hood Wolf is gonna sniff you out. He's gonna eat you up, my friend. So I'm looking forward to this one.
I think Dante Johnson would finish Azaitar, Tialulin, and Brundage all in round 1 and all in one night.
He's a terrifying dude, man. He is a terrifying dude. I mean, when you've got as little experience as Johnson does, and in your UFC debut, your KO prop is something like minus 225. Oh my God, Jesus Christ!
Yeah, he's in shape. I mean, compared to his heavyweight fights, he's in really good shape here.
Yeah. It looks like he found the right weight class, and he's got terrifying power, and you can't teach that. So it's going to be a fun fight, man. I'm looking forward to this one.
Yep, we got Dante Johnson open up minus 300. He's currently minus 350. Cedricus Dumas opened up plus 250, currently plus 285. Like I said, the under it just got smashed while we were breaking that down.
No shit. Where's it at now?
Minus 180 now. It was minus 160. So minus 180. It opened up plus 125, and it was there for 10 minutes. Wow. 7 minutes. It was there for 7 minutes, and now it's minus 180. So yeah, the under's juiced. Johnson's juiced. The KOO prop is minus 215 on one book, minus 250 on another. They're all over it. They're really sharp on this one. I think it's Johnson KO1. He's back. Yeah, he's back. Ankle monitor stat. I think he got it taken off potentially.
I think it is off.
Dumas folds as soon as DJ puts hands on it. I mean, like Frem to hurt Dumas multiple times. The problem with the Frem fight was every time Frem to hurt Dumas, he took him down. If Johnson hurts you, he kind of swarms you. Do they count the ankle monitor when he weigh-ins? I believe they would. Count it.
I'm not sure how that works, actually.
Free Dumas. He's went back to the drum board after getting his balls kicked off, and his quick recovery from Dumas there was apparently the worst ball kick in UFC history. I saw Cedricus at the locals farmer market buying fresh bread for the homeless. Wouldn't shock me. Wouldn't shock me. I'm winning this fight by decision. Yeah, if Cedricus Dumas does win the fight, it will be by decision. Onside piping pretty obvious tonight. Potentially. Saint. Yeah, he is a saint. Joe Pyfer picked Dumas because he can't pick a 5'8" guy at middleweight against 6'3" Cedricus Dumas. Oh, Pyfer picking Dumas there. There you go. Florida's finest. Taller. True. Fast. I don't know. Dumas is really slow, man, for a middleweight. Better looking. Debatable. Better criminal record. True. I can go on and on. I guess there are some reasons to like Dumas there. Absolutely. Dumas max bet. I know Clint is a big fan of Dumas. I didn't watch his podcast yet, but I'm almost certain that Clint will be on Cedricus. At least 5 units on SD Dumas this week. There you go. Johnston is a can crusher. Yeah, so far. Give me the Hood Wolf a plus, Mike. There you go. A lot of people on the Hood Wolf. Johnston minus 350 is a wild line. Yep. Bring back 2 Entree Dante to Andre Dante.
That is a great nickname.
Brady, would you let SD babysit your children? No, I like to keep the children away from the weed. And I just saw a recent interview. Weezy, he was smoking the biggest blunt I've ever seen. I mean, this was a big blunt. It was thick. It was long. You would never see a bigger blunt than what SD had in one of these interviews. I mean, this guy,
was he passing it, or was he the only person in the room?
It was him by himself. It was about a week ago on Instagram. I mean, this guy was smoking the biggest blunt ever.
Yeah, well, I think he's got cataract problems, Brady, and the weed is going to help you with those cataracts. It's going to clear them up, and that's probably why he's doing it. It's probably a medical thing.
Yeah. In shape, but lunges with the left hook, primed to get countered with a right, even by a woman beating Bonhead. There you go. There you go. SD can take this guy down. He's going to try to, I think. I'm 30 minutes behind, but isn't Alan Carr just a Dollar Tree version of Amarim? This should be Carnolossi fight, my guys. Yeah, somebody else brought that up as well, that she's a Dollar Tree Amarim.
Yeah, I tend to agree. You know, I mean, I wouldn't want to lay that kind of juice on Toledo in that spot.
Yeah, although she's only like minus 230 now, but yeah, I'm not. Cedrica sold me fentanyl. Oh, there you go. I wouldn't surprise me. Dumas via hit and run. Spinning ankle monitor kick. Yeah, we could see Dumas check a kick with that ankle monitor, and that would hurt, man. That would absolutely hurt.
Man.
All right, so we'll see how it plays out. Moving on to the next fight. It is going to be Timothy Kwamba versus the South Korean Habib Nurmagomedov,
yes.
Chung Ho Lee. We got Timmy Kwamba, 26 years old, 5'9", with a 71-inch reach. The South Korean Habib, 31 years old, 5'8", with a 69-inch reach. Kwamba is going to be 5 years younger. Kwamba is going to have a 1-inch height advantage and a 2-inch reach advantage. Kwamba is 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Had a decision loss against Balaji Oki, a decision loss to Lucas Almeida, and a knockout win against Roberto Romero. As far as Chung Ho Lee, 5-0 in his last 5 fights. Had a few wins on the road to UFC. Comes in against Zhao Long, wins that fight by decision. And then TKO's Cortavius, Are You Not Entertained Romeus, the fight after that. So I think this is a really good fight. We got a striker versus grappler matchup where on the feet, Kwama's a good striker, has some power. And Chung Ho Lee is going to be looking to get this fight down to the ground. They don't call him the South Korean Habib Nurmagomedov for a reason. He's going to look to wrestle. He's going to look to get you down. And once this guy gets on top of you, I mean, this guy's disgusting. Really good ground and pound, really active with it, hunting submissions, just kind of nonstop type style. So they have this fight lined around a pick'em, I believe, last time I checked. So I guess it's all going to come down to whether or not or who kind of gets their game going. Will Kwamba be able to stuff these takedowns, keep it at range, or will Chung Ho Lee be able to get this fight down to the ground, get his game going? It's going to be interesting to see. Weezy, what are your thoughts on this fight?
Yeah, I was impressed by Kwamba's performance last time out against Roberto Romero. Real clean knockout. He showed that he has something that I didn't think that he had going into that fight, and that was legitimate knockout power at this level. So that was impressive. But what I don't like about Kwamba is that it could take him a little bit to get going. You know, he can be a little bit weak on the volume. I don't think he looks very good optically out there because he doesn't throw a lot and because he's not the most reliable moment winner. And the thing is, somebody like Chung Ho Lee, he's going to be always filling the space with something. He's going to be pressuring you. He's going to be looking to clinch up and take you down. When he's not getting the takedowns, he's making you defend elbows and knees in the clinch. He just works and works and works, and he can get late finishes because of the pace that he puts on his opponents. And it's not the kind of fight that I think Timmy is going to thrive in. I think Timmy does his best work when he's able to kind of control the pace and location of the fight. And I think he likes a slower paced, more technical fight where you're kind of at distance striking range and where he can kind of dictate the offensive and defensive grappling exchanges and how they play out. I don't think Chung Ho Lee's the best wrestler. I don't think he's got great power on the feet. He's got shitty distance striking defense for sure, but he just doesn't fuck off. He's a tough opponent because he's always filling that space with offense. And if you're not comfortable in control time positions, Chung Ho Lee's going to put you in those control time positions where he thrives, where he outworks his opponents, and where he can win the minutes and bank the rounds with that volume, with that effort, with that forward pressure. So I like Lee here, but I do think that Kwamba can absolutely catch him with something on the feet because Kwamba's accurate. He does flash a little bit of power, and Chang Ho Lee's extremely hittable because of how much forward pressure he fights with. You're muted.
No, I was just waiting for you to finish your thoughts. Are you all done?
Yeah. I'm finished now, so now you can talk. Yeah.
Okay, I want to be polite. I want to let everybody get what they want to say in. I don't like interrupting people, so I just wanted to make sure I want to be 100% sure that you are all finished. So now that you are all finished, I will talk about the odds here. We got Timmy Kwamba. Oh, wow. Opened up plus 170. Currently minus 130. Chung Ho Lee, a.k.a. the South Korean Habib Nurmagomedov, self-proclaimed, right?
Yeah, he did say the Korean Khabib. But yeah, when you give yourself that nickname, boy, that usually doesn't work out well.
Yeah, he's been looking like it in some of his fights, but he opened at minus 200, currently plus 110. The over-under set at 2.5, the over 2.5, minus 180, the under 2.5, plus 157. What do you think about maybe like an under here? Like you got Kwamba with some power, Chung Ho Lee very hittable. And if Chung Ho Lee gets on top, maybe can get like a TKO or a potential sub. I think there's some ways.
The 2.5, is it? Yeah, 2.5, under 2.5, plus 157. I don't know. Like Just Win Baby just brought up something that I totally got past me, and that this is a bantamweight.
Yeah, man. It's Kwamba's debut at bantamweight.
Yeah. I wonder how that weight cut's gonna go for him. Yeah, because that power could definitely translate if the weight cut goes well for him after getting a knockout over a dude like Romero last time out. That could be kind of interesting.
Yeah, Romero's a tough dude. Romero went 3 rounds with Onama.
Yeah, and he had Onama on skates, or he knocked Onama down, but he also did get hurt at the end of the first round of that fight too. So it's not like the guy can't be hurt or anything like that. And I think Onama had him in some bad spots, but Chang Ho Lee's gonna put a pace on this dude, and Timmy Kwamba's flashing some power. So yeah, it could be an interesting under, or a fight doesn't go.
I think it could be like a cheeky under. I like unders in the striker versus grappler matchups. It didn't work out in the Jonathan Almeida fight, but we're also laying like minus 300 on the under 2.5 there. This is big plus money. So let's see. This card has everybody. Not really. I mean, this card, not a ton of name value. All the goats. I mean, you got Dumas.
You got Dumas.
You got
That's
Kevin
all you need, man.
You got Kevin Christian, the future GOAT. Kevin Christian, he's really good. Kwamba is a big fraud. Oh, boy. I don't know about that. I'm not the biggest Kwamba fan. I don't think he's a fraud, though. And he's still young. He's 26 years old. Yeah. Good to see Kwamba dropping to 135. Yes, it is. I can finish Kwamba. Is that Andre Fiallo?
Andre Fiallo, yeah, man.
Fiallo?
Well, Kwamba's a bantamweight now, Fiallo. Pick on someone your own size.
I think the CTE is starting to kick in. I mean, go look at Andre Fiallo's Tapology. It's literally like 7 knockout losses in a row.
It's bad.
It's bad. So yeah, Fiallo, I think you're a little confused. I think you've been knocked out, far too many times. Let's see what Fiallo's been up to. Andre Fiallo. How do you spell that? Fiallo.
Fialho.
Fialho. Let's see what he's been up to. Oh God. Yeah. So we got knocked out by Jake Matthews, got knocked out by Muslim Salikov with a spinning old punch.
Yeah.
A Buckley head kick knockout. Then he got knocked out by the Dirty Bird, Tim Means. And then he got knocked out by Jakongir Jumayev. In the UA Warriors. So he's been knocked out 5 times in a row and hasn't fought. I think he retired. I think they stopped letting him fight.
Well, maybe he'll come out of retirement if they're going to give him Kwamba at 155.
I got Kwamba.
I think it'll be 170, actually.
I got Kwamba there in that matchup. We got Just Win Baby with the $5 dono. Appreciate you saying either by sub. Timmy round 1 domination. Then pray he doesn't gas at 135. This is a grappling match. And yeah, that's a good point. And this guy, the South Korean Habib, he can push a pace. He can certainly push a pace.
And he only spends 33% of his UFC octagon time at distance striking range, which means he's just constantly shooting takedowns and clinching.
Yeah. Fight doesn't go to decision. I don't hate it. Nothing to run to the window for, but I don't hate it. I'm fine, motherfucker. UFC champions. I don't know about that,
There we
Andre.
go.
I don't know about
There
that,
we
Andre.
go. You and BJ Penn.
How good or bad is Kwamba's take? It's not bad. I wouldn't say it's great, phenomenal, but it's not bad. He got taken out a couple times by who was that on the Contender Series? Was it Michael Stack?
Stack, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, was it Vogel?
Was it Vogel? Yeah, I think yeah, it was Vogel. It was Vogel.
And Vogel's an aggressive wrestler. So if you want to see Kwamba's takedown defense, watch the Vogel fight because that dude wrestles.
Yeah, and it held up most of the fight until like the third round, and then he took us back and was able to win the fight still. All right, let's move on to the next fight. It is going to be the lowest level fight of all time. It is Billy Elakana going against Kevin Christian. We got Elakana, 30 years old, 6'2" with a 77-inch reach. Kevin Christian, 30 years old, 6'7" with an 80-inch reach. You got the same age there. Christian with a 5-inch height advantage and a 3-inch reach advantage. We got Elakana, 4-1 in his last 5 fights. He made his debut against Bogdan Guskov on short notice, lost that fight by second-round submission, and then won a decision against Ibo Aslan and the fight after that. As far as Kevin Christian, 5-0 in his last 5 fights. Had a Contender Series win a while ago at this point against Francesco Mazzeo and won that fight by second-round submission. I truly believe that Kevin Christian is one of the worst fighters to ever step foot in the UFC octagon this Saturday. I mean, first of all, there's no tape on this guy. And the tape that is available, he's getting dropped by bums. He's getting taken down by bums. I mean, that Mazzeo fight was a horrible look to me. That Mazzeo guy is a round 1 knockout or bust type guy. Like Mazzeo, I didn't even see Mazzeo wrestle much before. And Mazzeo all of a sudden came out there. He took down Kevin Christian in the first round and controlled him for the entire round. I mean, Christian was content to lay on his back and lose minutes. And then in the second round, same thing. Mazzeo gets him down, controls him for 4 minutes, but Mazzeo only has 5 minutes of gas, and then he just randomly gets triangled. It was the worst performance I'd ever saw on the Contender Series by a winner. Kevin Christian gets a come-from-behind triangle choke just due to Mazzeo gassing, and Dana White gave him a contract that night, and it was one of the worst signings I ever thought in the Contender Series history, right behind Jose Medina. Like, how are you about to give? I get he's 6'7", but he doesn't throw anything on the feet. He has no takedown defense. I mean, he's winning fights off his back. Like, how? I don't know. Like, he's really bad. He hasn't fought in a while as well. But they're giving him Billy Elakana, who doesn't do jack shit. I mean, this guy doesn't do jack shit. He just goes out there and doesn't do anything for 15 minutes. So this is a fight I'm staying far, far away from. I wanted to fade. I've been waiting for a Christian to get into the UFC. I want to fade this guy so bad. He's horrible. He's god awful. But I also don't want to lay minus 250 on Billy Elakana. So I will be going nowhere near this fight. Nothing interests me. Elakana doesn't interest me. Christian doesn't interest me. The total doesn't interest me. Nothing really interests me in this fight. What are your thoughts on this fight, Weezy?
Yeah, so I always set up these stat sheets in advance and put in the names, and and while I'm doing it, I'm working, I'm putting in these things, I'm cutting and pasting a bunch of shit. So I don't really necessarily look at the stats as I'm creating these sheets. And and sometimes you see a fight like Billy Elakana versus Kevin Christian, and you're just like, oh, who cares, right? So it was one of those ones where I was just like, I wasn't even paying attention to it. And then I was just kind of looking at the lines while I was putting them into the models. And I was like, wait a second. Billy Elakana's minus 250? What? And I remember Kevin Christian from Dana White's Contender Series, but I'm like, holy shit, how bad does this guy have to be that the market is willing to lay minus 250 on Billy Elakana? And I guess the answer is pretty bad. Pretty bad, because when you wiki cap this guy, he's fighting in lower grade malls than Demo Fight is. At least in Demo Fight, like, you're seeing that there's like a Versace store somewhere in the background where they got some higher level merchandise and shit. Like, this guy's like the store is Dollar Tree. It's like Brazilian version of Dollar Tree. That's like the flagship store of the mall. And there's rats running around that mall, Brady. It's nasty. There's a bunch of racks with a bunch of clearance shit going on outside the stores too. Just and a bunch of people begging for money. It's not good. It's not good. These promotions, Boa Vista Combat, Ray de Silva Combat, Amazonas Regional, Amazon Talent, Amazon Regional, Mr. Cage 20 against the 0-0 Guillermo Martins. Dude, this guy's been fighting as a professional since 2014. Did you know that? This guy's been fighting for 11 years, and he only has 10 fights.
Oh, God.
He lost to Moises Costa in Amazon Talent, who is 7-0-1, and I believe he's the Amazon Talent champion. And then he also lost to Jordan Rocha, who's 8-7-1. And that was in another Amazon regional back in 2016. And since those losses, though, he's on a 6-fight win streak, and I think he's got 100% finish rate in his wins, if I'm not mistaken, but a couple of them aren't even listed here. He fought in Shark Fight Championship against a guy with a record who's listed as N/A. And if you go to click on his name, you can't click on it because nobody's ever heard of Luis Tavares Augusto. So, yeah, man, it looks like the guy's fought a really low level of competition, while Elakana on the regional scene was fighting in PFL and LFA and, some decent promotions against some recognizable names. So there's a big strength of schedule advantage here on the Elakana side. He's a very durable guy, being Samoan. And he's got a little bit of lineage. I think might be related to Ray Cepho somehow. So, yeah, I mean, he should win this fight. This guy, Christian, I just remember when they did give him that contract on Dana White, I was like, whoa, because that guy shouldn't have even been on the show in the first place. But sometimes I think they like to get these freakishly tall fighters and, because people like seeing that old school shit, the old UFC with the 500-pound sumo wrestler against a 180-pound taekwondo guy, and that's kind of like what you see with a guy like Kevin Christian in there. I mean, if he won, it'd be pretty funny, wouldn't it?
I mean, it had to be like a triangle choke from bottom. Like, he doesn't throw anything. He has no takedown defense. I mean, this fight could honestly be awful. Like, what was up with that fight against Aslan? I mean, that fight was horrible.
Yeah, Aslan, a very good Dagestani wrestler. Couldn't get the takedowns there. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's gonna be ugly. It's gonna be an ugly fight.
So ugly. Nothing just sticking out. We got Elakana open at -350, currently -250. Kevin Christian open up +285, currently +210. The over under set at 1.5. The over 1.5 -125. The under 1.5 is +105, and it's like, okay, Christian's so bad, but does Elakana, does he finish him? I don't know. He's gonna have to do something to finish him.
Yeah, this will be a pretty fun fight to watch.
I don't know if I'll even watch this. I might take a break and maybe go mow the lawn. Maybe one last cut for the season's over. Maybe one last cut in. Maybe make some dinner. I don't know if I'm watching this fight, to be honest. This is horrible. Christian Mazzeo was like Kazama Gregorio. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. Didn't realize Christian was tall. I mean, it's huge. 6'7" is ridiculous. I mean, you just don't see that. They cut Hamdi so Christian could fly. Gosh. Elakana should be -500. And yeah, probably. I mean, Christian is that bad, but I don't know. Billy by KO +140, but sucks. Yeah, I could see that. But it could also be like a smash your TV type spot. It's like, Billy, do something. This guy stinks. So I don't know. Elakana beat Guskov in round 1 before he gassed. Yeah, he did. He took the fight on like 3 days' notice and has Bellator experience. He's unexciting, but he's not that bad. Yeah, he's okay. He's okay. You're not sure about the KO. He's so low volume and has no instinct. Got the Quan Townsend in the building.
Yes, the tarantula.
Heck yeah. DeQuan, good to see you in here. Billy shouldn't be -500 versus your aunt. Because even your aunt can go out there and, do a couple feints, maybe throw some stuff out there, and she could be competitive against Elakana. We got Chuck Buffalo. Yes, Waldo Ante, Themba, and Garcia Onama. Main is fire too. Come on, y'all. This is going to be a great card to watch. At least get my bread ready. Yeah, it's going to be a fun card. It's going to be a fun card. Brian, wipe your mouth when you're done glazing. Who's glazing Jones?
I'm not sure.
I don't know. Ebo went to Dagestan 8 weeks and forget how to fight. He did. I mean, that was bizarre. That
He
was
did
so
grow a
bizarre.
great beard, though.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I mean, that counts for something. Elakana is super risk adverse. He's going to put on a horrible fight, but do what he needs to get the job done, stay at range, and just jab. Yeah, I think it's going to be awful. Probably won't finish because he'll be safe and avoid ground and pound. It doesn't have one-punch power. 1-800 don't watch. I don't even like him. That's the best part. Just calling what I see. Tom just isn't what we all thought he was. She's a big gal. Who's a big gal? I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, this fight stinks. We'll move on to the next fight. It is going to be Nasimento going against Cody Durden. We got Nasimento, 34 years old, 5'8" with a 69-inch reach. Cody Durden, 34 years old, 5'7" with a 67-inch reach. Same age there. Nasimento 1-inch height advantage and a 2-inch reach advantage. Nasimento is 4-1 in his last 5 fights. Had a decision loss to Tagir Ulanbekov, a decision win against Jake Hadley, a submission win against Carlos Hernandez, and then a decision win against Shafel Filio. As far as Cody Durden, he is 1-4 in his last 5 fights. Submission loss to Tagir Ulanbekov, a knockout loss to Bruno Silva, submission win against Matt Schnell, decision loss to Joshua Van, and then a knockout loss to Jose Ochoa. We have Cody Durden stepping in here on short notice, and it's nice to see Nasimento on the card. I mean, this guy rarely fights, so it's kind of cool to see him. We still have to weigh in and stuff, but hopefully he fights because this is going to be a fun fight. Kind of got a striker, wrestler. I mean, Durden can wrestle, but versus grappler matchup, Nasimento just kind of purely a grappler. He is long and rangy on the feet, but ultimately he's looking to get the fight down to the ground, looking to submit you. Kind of interested to see what game plan Durden's going to attack this with. I kind of think he's going to want to keep this standing and not go into the grappling of Nasimento. So kind of an interesting fight here in the short notice put together. Weezy, what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, I think that this is going to be at 130 pounds, which I think is important because it's short notice for Cody Durden. First of all, I cannot believe that the matchmakers had the audacity to put Alan Nasimento versus Rafael Esteban.
Oh, wow.
That is a fucking fight that has a 0% chance of happening. Literally. 0. There's no fucking chance that you could put those two together and that both of them are going to stay healthy, make weight, and that they're going to show up to fight on Saturday. So that was retarded. And so in very predictable fashion, Rafael Esteban pulls out, and we're just waiting for Nasimento to pull out now. And then we're going to have to cap Cody Durden versus whoever.
Bring in Malcolm Gordon. Gordon.
They're going to have to get a flyweight that's already in Vegas because Nasimento pulls out probably Friday when he's 147 pounds, and then he's like, I'm not going to make 130 pounds. It's going to be bad, dude. I like Nasimento. We talk about fighters making quick turnarounds. Kevin Holland will fight 2 months later. Like Alan Nasimento making a turnaround in less than 5 months is like Kevin Holland-esque for him, because this guy's been in the fucking UFC since 2019 and he's got 4 fights. So I think before the Filio fight, there was 2 years off that he took, and he pulled out of 3 different fights: illness, botched weight cut, and some kind of an undisclosed injury. So Alan Nasimento is 34 years old. He's very big for the division, which is why he has such a hard time cutting the weight. So this is actually pretty good for him that Esteban pulled out and Durden stepped in, because now he doesn't have to cut down to 126. He can cut down to 130. And Durden, pretty good defensive wrestler, man. 73% takedown defense. He's getting controlled for less than 10% of his UFC octagon time, and that consists of 13 fights in over 2 hours in the UFC octagon. So Durden's not going to be an easy guy to take down and hold down because he does have the better offensive and defensive wrestling in this matchup. But once it does get down to the ground, Alan Nasimento is very aggressive. He's 14-0 to the submission, and Cody Durden has been submitted in 3 of his 6 UFC losses. He also had the fight against Jake Hadley, where Jake Hadley had him in a deep arm bar and basically injured his arm. He just refused to tap. So we've seen Cody even get put in bad spots, even in the fights where he doesn't get submitted. So if Alon Nasimento is able to control the pace of and location of this fight, get it to the ground, I think he's going to be very live to lock up against a submission against Durden, who's been submitted 4 times as a professional and doesn't really have the best submission defense. And Nasimento's extremely aggressive with his submissions, and whether he's on his back or whether he's in top control, he's always looking to finish the fight. So it's going to be interesting because I think, first of all, if Cody wants takedowns, he can get them.
Oh, yeah.
Alon doesn't care if you take him down. So Cody can win the minutes at distance striking range. He can win the minutes with wrestling and top time as well. The question is, can he avoid getting swept? Can he avoid getting put in bad spots when the fight is on the ground? And when it's on the feet, is he going to be able to separate from Alon? Because Alon's got good striking too. So I think it's an interesting matchup. But these are two 34-year-old flyweights who are taking, and Durden's taking the fight on short notice here, up at 130 instead of 125. Alon's going to be the taller and longer guy and the more aggressive submission grappler. But I think that Cody might be able to win the minutes of this fight wherever it goes, because you see a guy like Nasimento 5-6 to the decision, but 16-0 to the finish against a guy like Durden, who's 12-6 to the finish. So the guy's been finished in 6 of his losses, but he's 5-2 to the decision. So I think Cody's probably the better minute winner wherever this fight goes, because he's the better offensive and defensive wrestler and likely the better striker. But Nasimento finds ways to win moments, and his BJJ is so aggressive, and he spends such a small percentage of his time at distance striking range that he usually gets the fight that he wants. 14.3% over 4 UFC fights in 48 minutes of cage time is how much time Alon spends at distance striking range. So about 1 out of every 7 seconds is spent striking, 6 out of every 7 seconds spent in the clinch and on the mat. So it's going to be up to Durden to try to dictate the location of this fight.
Yeah, and he's one of those guys where he doesn't necessarily need a takedown to get it to where he wants it. He can take the back standing.
Yeah,
he can pull guard. I mean,
yeah,
he's very comfortable with his ground game there. So yeah, I think it's either Durden by decision or Nasimento by submission. I think those are 2 very live outcomes. They don't have props out on this fight yet. They do have a total. The over/under sit at 2.5. The over 2.5 is plus 105. The under 2.5 is minus 125. I'm not sure if Durden's finishing Nasimento. Nasimento has obviously really good sub defense, and he's never been knocked out, I don't believe.
Never been finished in 27 professional fights.
He's a tough dude, but I do think Nasimento could finish Durden if he's winning. So going to look for the props on this one. Nasimento opened up minus 300. He's currently minus 200, and Durden opened up plus 250, currently plus 170 there. Durden officially doesn't care about winning. He's going out there to put on a show and probably get subbed. A good value on the under. Not sure he even has 2.5 rounds of cardio on short notice. Yeah, the under is like minus 125. How did Cody just lose all his cardio in wrestling? That's what he was known for. Well, he's been having some tough matchups. Jose Ochoa, that guy is really good. Joshua Van's fighting for a title. He beat Schnell, and then Bruno Silva's no easy out. And obviously, Takir Ulanbekov's a very tough fight as well. He's been fighting some really tough guys outside of Schnell. Yeah, we can bring Jimmy Flick back. I mean, if Nasimento pulls out Jimmy Flick versus Cody Durden, I think that'd be a fun fight.
That would be a good one, yeah. Durden's already beaten him, though, right? Didn't Durden knock him out? No, Durden lost to him by flying triangle. That's right. You get that rematch.
Yeah, we got to
get a rematch. Finally, that's the one that the streets have been waiting for that one. And when Nasimento pulls out of this fight on weigh-in day, let's see. Somebody call up Sand Springs, Oklahoma. Let's see where Jimmy Flick's at. I like that
rematch there. We got to get it. Yeah, they should do a 155-pound catchweight bout, so Nasimento will actually show up.
He'll show up at 158.
Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't cut Esteban. I mean, Esteban misses weight every fight. Esteban pulled out again, probably another botched weight cut. Yeah, and he's boring as well. It's like, what are you doing, Esteban? Yeah, they should just cut that guy. Get him out of the UFC. Nobody wants to watch that. Need 200 likes for Brady to get a face tattoo. Yeah, agreed. If we get 200 likes by the time we get out of here, which is going to be in about an hour or so, I will definitely get a face tattoo. Man, I miss Jake Hadley. Anyone else? No, I don't miss him. And his stupid fight IQ. Like, what are you doing, Jake Hadley? Why aren't you? Who's the one guy that he went out there and forgot how to wrestle?
That was Cameron Smotherman.
Yeah, this guy went out there against Cameron. He's like minus 400, minus 500, and then didn't shoot a single takedown. I don't want to see Jake Hadley anywhere near the UFC ever again.
I remember Smotherman getting absolutely drowned by Mando Gutierrez.
Oh, God.
You know? And I was like, why isn't Jake wrestling? Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. Billy versus Kevin sounds like an after-school fight at a prep school. I'll take Billy by decision or Kevin by submission. Yeah, I think Kevin by submission is probably how he wins, and it'd be very hilarious. It'd be very hilarious if Kevin Christian got a UFC win. I mean, one of the worst fighters I think I've ever seen in my entire life. All right, let's move on to the next fight. We have a banger. We have an absolute banger. I cannot wait for this fight. We got Charles Chuck Buffalo Radke going against Daniel Frunza. We got Charles Radke, 35 years old, 5'10" with a 72-inch reach. Daniel Frunza, 31 years old, 6'1" with a 73-inch reach. We got Frunza 4 years younger, 3-inch height advantage, and a 1-inch reach advantage. Charles Radke, 3-2 in his last 5 fights, a decision win against Blood Diamond, a knockout win against Gilbert Urbina, a knockout loss to Carlos Prates, knockout win against Matthew Semmelsberger, and then a knockout loss to Mike Malott. As far as Daniel Frunza, 4-1 in his last 5 fights, had a knockout win on the Contender Series against Coetzee in the second round, and then he got knocked out by Reese McKee via doctor stoppage because Herzog refused to stop that fight, even though he got dropped 5 times. So, yeah, we have 2 kind of Homer Simpson fighters on this card, right? We got Phil Rowe, kind of Homer Simpson. He'll come from behind win type guy, and Daniel Frunza is a Homer Simpson. I mean, this guy is getting dropped in most of his fights. He has no striking defense. He has no ground game. I mean, Daniel Frunza is, not that great, to be honest, but he does have a lot of heart. He does have decent cardio, and if you can't finish him, he's going to finish you late in the fight. And we saw that in the Coetzee fight. Coetzee dropped him in the first round, and then he ended up coming back and knocking him out. But in the Reese McKee fight, I mean, that was a really rough look. I mean, Reese McKee is nothing special to say the least. And Reese McKee went out there and just knocked him down like 4 or 5 times. The fight wasn't even remotely close. I mean, this guy Frunza blocks punches with his face. He's getting hurt in all of his fights. He can't stuff a takedown. He can't grapple. He's just Homer Simpson. I mean, that's how he's going to win, and that's how he's won a lot of his fights, just Homer Simpson his way to a win. So I guess can Chuck Buffalo go out there and finish this guy early? Can Chuck Buffalo, can his cardio hold up over the course of 15 minutes? Because I think it's a great matchup for Charles Radke, and Radke's nothing special in his own right, but he does have a ton of power. I could see him knocking out Frunza, and I could see him taking down Frunza, who has a Elise Reed type grappling and subbing him. So yeah, this should be Radke here, but it's always tough to kind of trust this guy, man. He's kind of inconsistent, but Radke should really go out there and beat him. I'm thinking I like Radke here. I think he could take him down and sub him. I think he could knock him out. But if this fight gets extended, we have seen Radke slowed down before. So what are your thoughts on this matchup, Weezy?
Yeah, it's an interesting one because, these VFS guys, they are always bragging about how good of grapplers they are. And when you're training with guys like Bilal, even Brendan Allen went out there in his last fight against Renier de Ritter and was able to get reverses and, maintain top time and show off that grappling. Even Austin Hubbard, in the Markel Medeiros fight was going out there and out wrestling him, winning minutes on top, got his back, almost choked him out. So I think that Charles Radke is probably going to want to wrestle here, but Frunza is a guy that's actually done a decent job of kind of anti-grappling in his regional scene tape and kind of staying alive in the fight that way, limiting their success and landing some big shots on the feet. If you don't belong here, Charles Radke usually runs through you, Guy like Blood Diamond, he didn't have the easiest time with, but he had to go all the way to Australia to take that fight. It was his UFC debut, and he fought a smart fight and wound up winning the minutes there and getting that win. But I don't know if Charles is going to be able to wrestle at this level. I mean, like the stats will tell you no. His takedown accuracy is 12.5%.
Oh,
that's not going to cut it at this level. You got to get your takedowns at a higher percentage than that. You got to be a lot more efficient than that. But the thing is about Radke is that the power, man. I mean, like that left hook that he has can put you out if he just touches you with it once. And I also think that he's the better grappler here. I mean, Daniel Frunze is younger. He's 4 years younger than Charles. He's 3 inches taller. He's got a 1-inch reach advantage. But Charles has got the overall experience advantage. He's got the strength of schedule advantage. He's got 4 more fights at the UFC level. He's got the better professional wins. He's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt who's a much better grappler on paper than Frunze is. And this kid's got ridiculous knockout power in his left hook. So I don't know what Frunze is going to do to win this fight. I think it's going to be a real tough road to hoe for him, and that maybe he might have gotten a little bit lucky, with his wins on the regional scene. Got really lucky to fight a guy that really doesn't have more than 5 minutes of cardio on Dana White's Contender Series, who gassed out, and he got that win. But when you're getting run through by Reese McKee, who's got a 1 win and 5 loss UFC record, and he made that look easy. Reese McKee shouldn't be knocking anybody out in the first round, but he rearranged this young man's face. He might not even be recognizable in this fight. So almost 7 months since we've last seen Frunze. I think that this is a good matchup for Charles. He's 3-2 in the UFC, and I think that they're going to reward him for taking fights against Carlos Prates and Mike Mallet in Canada. Those are tough matchups, man. And he ran through Summelsberger, and that's a pretty good win. It's better than the Urbina and the Blood Diamond wins. And even Frunze, wins over Tulunzik. Harris Tulunzik's a good wrestler. Jalen Fuller's got some decent regional scene wins in LFA. So he was fighting a decent level of competition on the regional scene, getting some wins by knockout. But he's still got to prove that he's UFC level, and that last performance wasn't the kind of thing you wanted to see if you're going to be proving that. So I think that Charles Radke probably gets the job done here.
Yeah, Radke opened up -125. He's currently -160. Frunze opened up +105, currently +140 there. So Chuck Buffalo, Radke is going to murk Frunze. I mean, he should murk him. I hope Charles wins always so he can have another heated gamer moment and drop the F word. Yeah, he always has a lot to say on the mic. I heard the yeah,
always with the double flip off.
Yeah.
You gotta love it.
Gotta love it. I heard the great Dan Miragliotta might ref this fight. Hopefully Dan's away for a couple. Hopefully keep him off a couple cards after what he did. All right, let's keep moving on to the next fight. It is going to be Ketlen Vieira going against Norma Dumont. We got Vieira, 34 years old, 5'8" with a 68-inch reach. Dumont, 35 years old, 5'7" with a 67-inch reach. Vieira 1 year younger, 1-inch height advantage, and a 1-inch reach advantage. Ketlen Vieira is 3-2 in the last 5 fights. Decision win against Holly Holm. Decision loss against Raquel Pennington. Decision win against Pandy Kanzad. Decision loss to Kayla Harrison. And then a decision win against Macy Chazon. As far as Norma Dumont, 5-0 in her last 5 fights. Decision win against Danielle Wolf. A decision win against Carol Hoza. Decision win against Chelsea Chandler. Decision win against GDR. And then a decision win against Irene Aldana. Wheezy, what are your thoughts on this fight?
My thoughts is that, if you back either Norma Dumont or Ketlen Vieira as an underdog at the UFC level, you are making crazy money. Ketlen Vieira in 9 fights priced as an underdog in the UFC, Brady, 7 wins and 2 losses with a 92% ROI. So what does that tell you? I mean, well, it tells you that the market doesn't understand how good she is. The market is underestimating her ability to win minutes in bank rounds at this level. Norma Dumont as an underdog at the UFC level, 5 wins and 1 loss with an 81% ROI. Ketlen hasn't performed well as a favorite. Norma is 3-1 as a favorite with a 20% ROI. I think that these ladies are very well matched. But the thing that makes Ketlen so good, in my opinion, Brady, is that she's usually the better offensive and defensive wrestler who gets to dictate where the fight takes place. And when you're able to do that and you have a well-rounded skill set like Ketlen does, you're going to be able to win fights in this division against this level of competition. Norma Dumont's stats look about as good as Ketlen Vieira's, But we got to remember those stats were fighting up at 145, which is now a defunct division. And only her last 2 fights have been at 135. The wins over Irene Aldana and Germaine Durandamy. And we know we hadn't seen Germaine Durandamy in years prior to that fight. So I kind of feel like Ketlin's got a strength of schedule advantage here. I feel like she's the better offensive and defensive wrestler that's going to be able to kind of dictate where this fight takes place. Norma Dumont's got the much better ass, though, and I don't want to get in the habit of fading ass. Not in this climate that we're in right now, Brady. There's a lot of division in this world. There's a lot of people who can't get along. Ass is one of the things that brings us together as human beings, and you just don't want to fade that regularly at this level. It's a tough fight to call, man. It's a tough fight to call because, you know, with Ketlin, you're getting the much more handsome fighter, the fighter that looks a lot more like Lorenzo Lamas, you know, and then with Norma, you're getting somebody who's shown some really good striking numbers. 70% distance striking defense over an 81 minute sample size is really good. So, you know, I think that this is a very close fight, but I lean towards Ketlin Vieira at plus money as being the side, as being the money line side here because she's more experienced at the UFC level. She has a grappling advantage or an offensive and defensive wrestling advantage, in my opinion. And the strength of schedule and experience advantages, I think, should loom pretty large here.
Yeah. Yeah, it is probably a dogger pass. So Norma was like at minus 193 just like a second ago, and now she's minus 158. Vieira was as high as plus 168 like a couple minutes ago. And
wow, really? Just a couple minutes ago?
Not a couple minutes, actually. Like an hour ago or so.
Okay.
Or 2. But she was plus 168, and now she is plus 138 there. The over-under set at 2.5 rounds. The over 2.5 is minus 360. The under 2.5 is plus 289. I think the over is a great look. I mean, I would be surprised if either one of these ladies get a finish. That's probably a decent parlay piece to put in the Stat Diggers parlay potentially. But what I will say about Dumont is, you know, Dumont looked like incredible in her last fight against Aldana. Her striking looked amazing. It was kind of shocking how good her hands looked. Busting up Aldana, her face was bleeding. But yeah, I always like that takedown defense of Vieira. So I don't think Dumont's going to be able to take down Vieira. Nobody does. Even Kayla Harrison really struggled to take down Vieira. So that's a good point. Vieira wasn't going to be able to dictate where it takes place. But on the feet, I definitely favor Dumont there. It's a tough fight. A fight that would probably be dogger pass as well. And yep, agreed. Over 2.5 looks to be a good look. Dumper Dumont back in the cage, yes. She needs to take the nickname at Dump Truck and just stop fighting it already. Agreed. She has spoken about not liking comments about her butt and wanted to be judged as a fighter. She isn't one of those OnlyFans type girls, but she doesn't realize that just makes us like her more. LOL, yeah. So I don't know why she's not taking compliments. Why not? If you take them, take them.
Yeah, you know, and I mean, if you want to say shit like that, maybe you shouldn't have been missing weight at 145.
Yeah.
You know, with that giant ass, like 3-4 fucking times she's coming in missing weight at 145. So it's like, come on, you know, I mean, what are people going to say when you get on the scale with an ass like that at 145 and you're missing weight by 3 pounds?
Yeah, I was trying to look
up human beings, Brady. We're only human beings.
Agreed. I was trying to look up Norma Dumont's ass because I wanted to see it. But when I looked it up, it's like Eileen Perez is coming up. It's like, what?
Eileen Perez? Why?
I don't know. I look up Norma Dumont's ass, and you'll see it. Just a ton of pictures of Eileen Perez twerking, and you won't find much Dumont.
That's weird.
That is weird. We don't. I came in late. What are your thoughts on Tom Aspinall? We touched on it a little bit, I guess. We don't talk about quitting anymore. We're halfway through a breakdown. Agreed. Norma can match Ketlin on strength. Norma's striking looks better now. Yeah, her striking looked incredible in her last fight. All jokes aside, Norma is pretty good. She has a good size as well, and she's improving every time you see her. That's a dangerous woman. Wheezy's right. Always bet on cheeks. Agreed. I want a 2v1 match against Norma and Duran so I can pipe them both on site. There you go, Hood Wolf. Can we just say a massive congratulations to Amarim for cashing my round 1 takedown at plus 750 or plus 650, 2 takedowns at plus 680, and 1 takedown at plus 250. She may have lost everyone's else's bets, but made my night. Thank you. Yeah, apparently a book out there was hanging some stupid Amarim takedown lines, and a lot of people took advantage. 70% strike and defense. Yeah, normal is about to school Catlin. Will Vieira wrestle Dumont with her Biobob? Thick legs? I don't know.
I think Vieira's probably going to try to wrestle.
I mean, that'd be wise.
Yeah.
Be wise to wrestle. WikiFeed, I don't know. I don't know if they're even on WikiFeed. Yeah. Dumont's 4.25, and I'd be shocked if Ketlin was on there. That'd be disgusting. Oh, she is. What's wrong with people, man? Ketlin's 3.95.
Okay.
What's wrong with people?
So then maybe Dumont is a rightful favorite.
I mean, yeah, better ass, better feet, better looking. Yeah, maybe minus 160 is about right. All right, let's move on to the next fight. We got a banger. Isaac Dulgarian versus Yadier Delvi. We got Dulgarian, 29 years old, 5'7" with a 71-inch reach. Delvi, 29 years old, 5'9" with a 69-inch reach. We got the same age there. Delvi with a 2-inch height advantage and a 2-inch reach disadvantage. Dulgarian is 4-1 in his last 5 fights. Made his debut against poor Francis Marshall, and knocked him out so bad on the ground that even Jason Herzog had to stop the fight. He got a couple move fighters, and then he stopped him. And then lost a decision to Christian Rodriguez, and then submitted poor Brandon Marat in the second round. As far as Delvi, he is 5-0 in his last 5 fights. Had a decision win on the Contender Series, which was a pretty fun fight there. And then he submitted Connor Matthews in the very first round. So weird fight. I don't like when they do this. I really don't. Prospect versus prospect. It's like, come on, let's build these guys up a little bit. Why are we doing this? You know, one of these guys is going to have to lose. We saw them do Dulgarian versus Rodriguez. Same thing, prospect versus prospect. Dulgarian lost that fight. Another prospect versus prospect fight where I like both these guys quite a bit, but you know, I'm watching Delvi, and this guy's getting taken down in like every fight. He has no takedown defense. He's jumping the guillotine, and I've seen him do it like probably like 20 times. I mean, this guy's jumping. You can't jump a guillotine at this level, especially like Dulgarian. So Dulgarian will get takedowns. I mean, no doubt about it. He's a phenomenal wrestler. The question is, can he keep that pace up over the course of 15 minutes? And yeah, probably, you know, Delvi is also a guy that kind of slows down as the fight goes on. So yeah, I kind of like this matchup for Dulgarian. Delvi, he's going to get taken down. He's going to jump the gilly. He's probably not going to get it. I think this fight's going to be a fight that takes place on the mat. So yeah, I think Dulgarian wins, and I kind of hate it because I like this Delvi guy, and I kind of wanted to see him and build him up a little bit more, but they're kind of feeding him to the wolves here. Weezy, what are your thoughts on this fight here?
Yeah, it's a rough matchup for Delvi any way you slice it, because the guy's a guillotine merchant, and he's going to get put on his back. So unless he can lock up that guillotine, he's going to be wearing Isaac Dulgarian like a cheap suit for the entire 3 rounds, because I really don't see I mean, like, he's not going to stop the takedowns. Even if he was a good wrestler, he's not stopping takedowns from Isaac Dulgarian, who's elite. His wrestling is elite. His pedigree is about as good as it gets for MMA wrestlers. So Dulgarian is going to take fights to where he wants them, and that's on the mat, and you don't have any choice but to be there with him. And Yadier, being a judo guy, a Brazilian jiu-jitsu guy, like, he even admitted before he got to this country, Brady, he had never even thrown a punch before. So this is a guy with a 6-year MMA career whose striking is still fairly new to. So the people who think that Delvi is going to have some big advantage on the feet, I don't think that's the case at all. I think this guy's striking is not very good at all, to be honest with you. He's big and he's strong, but he looks slow to me. He doesn't look particularly technical. Yeah, and I think Dulgarian striking is actually okay. So I don't like this spot. I kind of feel like Delvi is going to be submission or bust, because Brazilian jiu-jitsu guys just don't have great get-ups. They just don't. You know, it's not part of what they work. I mean, you can score points from your back in that sport, and Judo guys certainly don't have good get-ups. I could speak for that personally because it's not part of the sport. You get taken down in judo, you've got like 15 seconds to get to a dominant position. If you don't get there, or if you don't have some kind of a submission locked up that you're cranking on, they stand you back up. So I think that Dulgarian is the kind of guy who, even if you're a very good wrestler, you're probably going to have this dude on top of you for the entire fight. So Yadier, who doesn't have great wrestling, and I just don't see him having the kind of striking that's going to cause major problems to Dulgarian, even if this fight does stay standing for extended stretches, because I think people see the Antonio Montero fight and they think that Del Valle is a good striker. Dude, Montero's a punching bag. You see that fight?
Oh, yeah.
That guy couldn't move his head at all. Like he was just getting absorbing shot after he couldn't miss against that guy. So, I mean, like, this is a completely different situation. Dulgarian's going to be taking you down less than 15 seconds into this fight. So I think it's Isaac. He might get a finish, or he might just ride out easy takedowns and top time on his way to a decision here.
Yep. I like Dulgarian a decent amount. He opened up minus 240, currently minus 240. Del Valle opened up plus 205, currently plus 205. The question is, does Dulgarian continue that finish streak? 100% finish rate, right?
Yeah, 100% finish rate, but against like nobody's.
Hey, put some respect on Brandon Murat. That guy's tough.
He's awful.
he's a
fucking
tough
awful. You know, both of these guys are coming off of wins from my favorite regional scene, Brady, the Northeast regional scene.
Yes.
The shittiest regional scene in the country. CES, Cage Titans, Combat Night. Connor Matthews got his ass shaved by Del Valle, got his ass shaved by Delgado, and then Brendan Murat, another New England cartel bum on the New England regional scene out there, just beating absolute tomato cans. So, yeah, both of these guys have a lot to prove in terms of getting an actual UFC level win, but I feel like Dulgarian's win over Marshall was solid, and then Del Valle is a win over Michael Aswell on the regional scene, but I thought Aswell won that fight. I actually thought it was a pretty clear Aswell win. I don't know how you gave rounds 2 or 3 to Del Valle, but he clearly won round 1 of that fight. But either way, yeah, I think this is Dulgarian's spot here. I think he's going to win this fight.
Yep. Agreed. The over-under set at 2.5. The over 2.5 plus 140. The under 2.5 is minus 160. They're
expecting a finish.
Yeah, and rightfully so with the way Dulgarian fights. But we also haven't really seen Del Valle, how tough he is yet. We're gonna find out how tough this guy is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a good matchup for us. Maybe Dulgarian has a potential parlay piece. But yeah, nothing really sticking out with the I mean, if you want to bet Dulgarian inside the distance, you're laying a minus number on it.
Yeah, and I mean, it makes I'd rather just play his money line, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but then you have to parlay it, and parlays are cursed. At least for me.
They are when I make them too. So,
so yeah,
that's why I'm like, straight bet that shit.
Yeah,
let's just chip away.
Might as well just 2.4 units to win 1. Maybe we'll see.
Yeah.
All right, we got Blom Dog in the building. What is up, Blom Dog? Dulgarian to shave ass here. Dulgarian's gas tank worries me. But yeah, we've seen Del Valle slow down in fights too, though. So, chopped round 1, round 2 finish. Midwest chopper for the win. Yeah, I like it. Taking young boys. Worst head movement. I don't know if that's even possible. Patrick Mix has some of the worst head movement out there.
He's got that Statue of Liberty head movement.
Del Valle is a dog and a family man. Yeah, he is a family man. He's from Dagestan.
Yeah, we're talking about Dulgarian. Yeah,
he is.
Dulgarian's definitely an Armenian name.
All right, let's move on to the next fight. We have Jeremiah Wells going against Themba Grinboa. We got Wells, 38 years old, 5'9" with a 74-inch reach. We got Themba Grinboa, 34 years old, 6 foot with a 76.5-inch reach. We got Themba 4 years younger. We got Themba with a 3-inch height advantage and a 2.5-inch reach advantage. Jeremiah Wells, he is 3-2 in his last 5 fights. A submission win against Blood Diamond, a knockout win against Court McGee, decision win against Matthew Simmelsberger, submission loss to Carlston Harris, and then a decision loss to Max Griffin. As far as Themba Grinboa, 4-1 in his last 5 fights. Decision win against Takashi Sato, a knockout win against Pete Rodriguez, a decision win against Ramiz Brahimaj, a decision win against Nico Price, and a submission loss against Vicente Luque. So yeah, interesting fight here. I'm kind of shocked at the line because people like to suck Themba's dick for some reason. I just don't get it. This guy, he's chinny. He has poor submission defense. He's getting hurt in a lot of fights. He's been subbed multiple times. He's very uncomfortable on the feet. I mean, this guy's panic wrestling any chance he gets. But he's going against Jeremiah Wells, who's like 38. And it's weird. He doesn't look like he's 38. He looks like he's like young 30s, but 38 years old, turning 39, in a couple of days here. He hasn't fought in a while as well. But it's kind of an interesting matchup. I think there's a ton of reasons to like Wells. Wells is, very dangerous on the feet. He has a lot of power. We don't see people knocking out Court McGee all too often. He hurt Matthew Simmelsberger a few times as well. And then also he has a very good submission game. In that Carlston-Harris fight, he had Carlston in 2 very deep submission attempts in the first round. Not sure how Carlston got out of them, but I mean, if Themba gets put in those same spots, we've seen him choked out a few times. The cardio could be an issue, I suppose. He did kind of slow down and get finished late in that Harris fight, but he was up 2 rounds going to that third round. I don't know. It's a weird fight. It's definitely a sketchy fight, but yeah, I thought Themba would be a much bigger favorite. He's getting picked 84% on Tapology, but the line's about to pick him here. Weezy, what are your thoughts on this one?
I just think there's so many reasons not to bet on this fight. Jeremiah Wells hasn't fought in 1 year and 8 months. And to be brutally honest, like, this guy has never really been a full-time fighter. He's got a 13-year career and he's shown up 17 fights. This guy's always taken off a ton of time between fights. He seems to be injured all the time. The conditioning seems to be very questionable. And so, like, he just never really got into a rhythm. And I mean, that last fight against Max Griffin was just a horrible look. Like, he didn't seem to understand that he needed to wrestle there. And I don't know if you can count on this guy to wrestle when he's supposed to. He kind of just looks like an ape, like he just tries to take your head off. Anytime he's on the ground, he's just trying to twist your head off, and squeeze. But like, there's no process to his game. He's slow. He's kind of clunky. And then with Grinboa, I mean, like, I remember when this guy fought AJ Fletcher and they gave him a UFC contract. I'm like, how did this happen?
Oh God.
He had such an underwhelming, regional scene resume. I was just wondering how he got into the UFC. And then, they give him Fletcher and he blows that one. And he gets destroyed. And then they line up literally the worst fighters in the organization to fight this guy, trying to build this guy up. They give you the 4 worst that you could get. Takashi Sato, awful. Pete Rodriguez, terrible. Ramiz Brahimaj off of a 2-year absence and neck surgery. And then Nico Price, who's held together with duct tape right now. And then he wins all those fights, and then he goes out there against Luque, who's washed and gets run through, absolutely run through. So, I mean, I think we know that Themba Grinboa isn't the real deal. He's not going to make a run in this division unless they sign 4 more bums to replace Price, Brahimaj, Rodriguez, and Sato, so that this guy can stack more wins. Because even though Jeremiah Wells doesn't show up to fight more than once a year, and there's no process to his game, and there's no game plan, he still has got good Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and he's got really good power. He can hurt you. If you make one mistake against this guy, he can get you out of there. And it's not like Grinboa's difficult to finish. He's been finished in 4 of his 5 losses. So I think Wells is probably the side, but he's 39 years old. He hasn't fought in 1 year and 8 months. And trust me, as somebody who bet on him versus Max Griffin, this guy is not smart. There's like no process there. He's not going to be like somebody's going to be making great mid-fight adjustments. He's going to go out there, swing for the fucking fences. And if he doesn't connect or doesn't get put into a good spot in grappling, he probably isn't going to find the win.
I mean, he outlanded Griffin, believe it or not, in a fight where nobody did. He actually did more than Griffin, 32-26.
Over 15 minutes, lands 32 significant strikes. I mean, it's pathetic.
Really weird fight.
Yeah, that was a bizarre fight because Max Griffin's even older than Jeremiah Wells.
Yeah.
So it was just kind of weird that he had more in the tank there when Wells only has 17 professional fights over the last 14 years. It's just kind of odd that somebody like Griffin, who's been in there with some real studs and has a lot more fights, was the one with more in the tank.
Yeah, it's a really weird fight, but I definitely like Wells. I was just expecting a much, much better line. I mean, this guy, Wells, is 39. People love Themba for some reason. I'll never get it, but people love this guy. Only getting plus 105, and it looks like the line might even flip. So, yeah, probably not worth touching at this point, but we'll see. Themba Grinboa deleted all his social media. How does The Rock feel about? Probably not great. Probably not great. Deleting your social media. I don't know. Daylight come and we want to go home. There you go. He's rock hard in regards to that matter. Okay. There you go. Maybe possible. How about Jeremiah by Powerbomb? That'd be fun. AJ Fletcher.
Yeah.
I hit the under in that fight there. And yeah, that Vicente Luque fight was the biggest hit I've ever had. I had Luque money line, I had the under 2.5, and I had Luque by sub. One of the best reads I've ever had. And I think like Wells is about the same price as Luque. Like Luque was like plus 120, plus 130 or something like that. We got D Spearman in the building. What is up? I mean, they're giving him the next bag of meat to spoil out of the back of the fridge in Wells. Yeah. Ghost of Griffin can vouch. There's an idea of Jeremiah Wells as a densely corded ball of destruction. I like Themba has faster and straight shots versus big looping. He's just uncomfortable on the feet, though. Like if he gets hit, he's gonna panic wrestle. And yeah, I think that's how he wins. Themba by decision is absolutely how he wins. Agreed. All right, moving on to the next fight. We have the co-main event. Oh God, co-main event. It is Waldo Cortez Acosta versus Ante Delia. We got Waldo Cortez Acosta, 34 years old, 6'4", with a 78-inch reach. Delia, 35 years old, 6'4", with a 79-inch reach. We got Waldo 1 year younger, same height, and we got Delia with a 1-inch reach advantage. Waldo is 4-1 in his last 5 fights. Decision win against Arlovsky, decision win against Despain, knockout win against Ryan Spann, decision win against Spivak, and then a decision loss against Sergey Pavlovich. As far as Ante Delia, 4-1 in his last 5 fights, made his debut against Marcin Tybura and won that fight by first round knockout. Yeah, I don't know. Heavyweight fight. This is actually the closest line fight on the card. We have Waldo minus 105, Delia minus 115. I'm not a big Waldo guy, but I mean, the guy, one thing I know about Waldo, Easy, this guy's durability is stupid. I mean, this guy has some of the best durability I think I've ever seen in my entire life. He was eating flush knockout blows from Sergey Pavlovich and just eating them and smiling back at Pavlovich. I remember I had Pavlovich by knockout there, and I'm just like, what? How is he eating some of these bombs that Pavlovich is throwing? So, yeah, I love the durability of Waldo Cortez Acosta, but I do have question marks about the wrestling, the grappling. He can be a little bit low volume at times. I don't know. Delia, he hits hard. Delia, in theory, would have some grappling upside if he does go to it. It's a tough fight to call. I think it's a pick him for a reason. I actually maybe lean the Waldo side here just due to that durability, due to that cardio, but not really confident in it. What are your thoughts on this fight?
I think they're pretty well matched, but with Delia, I think probably has a grappling upside here. At least I've seen this guy wrestle and win some minutes on the regional scene with that. So I think that he's going to be able to, if he doesn't like how the boxing exchanges are going, maybe he can get takedowns and some top time here. And I'm just not like with Waldo, that durability puts him in every single fight in this division,
Oh yeah.
Like you were talking about Pavlovich, dude. I think Robelis Despain probably hits just as hard as Sergey Pavlovich. Like you say what you will about that guy's, overall MMA skill set, but you don't want to fucking get hit by Robelis Despain ever.
True.
And dude, Waldo was taking flush shots from that dude too. And even the Vandera fight, I'm looking right now. I want to know how many leg kicks Vandera landed in that fight because it had to be 70. Let me look here.
Wasn't he? I think Chase Sherman landed a lot of leg kicks too, didn't he?
Yeah. Well, so Jared Vandera landed 39 significant leg kicks against Waldo Cortez Acosta, and he never even took a bad step. Marcos Rogerio de Lima, who has got some of the hardest leg kicks I've ever seen, 28 calf kicks that Waldo Cortez Acosta, and who was the other one? It was Chase Sherman, you said?
I think it might have been Chase Sherman.
Chase Sherman landed 25 leg kicks. Like, you can kick the shit out of this guy's calf for 15 straight minutes. He will never even indicate that it hurts. And he will never take a bad step. He will never switch stances. So guess what? It's like a complete fucking waste of time because judges don't score leg kicks. They're never going to score a leg kick unless that person actually switches stances or indicates that it hurts. And while this guy's landing leg kicks on Waldo, Waldo's landing jabs to the face, and he's winning the minutes. But we saw Waldo kind of run through Lucas Bresky. We saw him kind of run through Fat Span. I don't even know if he beat Spivak. The stats say that he outlanded Spivak 110-48. I feel like I watched a completely different fight than that.
Wait, what was it?
Spivak Waldo.
Yeah, he said he outlanded him 110-48.
That's what it says. That's what UFC stats says.
No, it looked 50-50 to me.
Yeah, it looked 50-50, but I think like the thing is that Waldo kind of pops that jab and it lands, and it doesn't necessarily do a ton of damage, but he's scoring points with it. But like, I don't want to bet Waldo at a pick'em because I don't think he ever really looks a whole lot better than that. And I don't think he's going to look better than that against Delia. I think Delia's probably got the grappling upside. I mean, I even think that Delia might have the better pro wins. He's certainly a lot more experienced. But because of that, durability, the bet of the century has to be anti-Delia by decision. Because unless they let him bring a 2x4 in there, I don't think he's fucking knocking out Waldo Cortez Acosta, and he's probably not submitting him because how many submissions does Delia have as a pro? He's 6-1 to the submission. I don't know if he's ever subbed anybody with a pulse, though. So, I mean, I think Delia by decision, maybe a finish-only prop on Waldo Cortez Acosta. Those might be some decent ways to play this one.
Yep, I agree with both those. Or fight goes to decision. Plus 130, that's not horrible.
Yeah, that's not bad, seeing as Delia by points. Well, Delia by points is plus 340.
Yeah, it's a big number.
That's a pretty big number considering that nobody's finishing Waldo. So, yeah. I mean, if Sergey Pavlovich,
oh God,
isn't knocking you out, I mean, what are the chances that Delia is going to be able to do it? It would be pretty surprising if he was able to get him out of there. So, yeah, Delia by points plus 340. That's very tempting because I do think he's the better all-around fighter. I think he's got more ways to win this fight.
Yeah. Yep. Waldo opened up plus 145, currently minus 105. Delia opened up minus 170, currently minus 115. And you had the decision prop for Delia is plus 340. Decision prop for Waldo is plus 250. Both guys have the plus 245 for their knockout props, and the Waldo finish only is plus 100 there. So Gilbert Burns revealed he ran into Themba after the Luque fight. He was crying his eyes out, saying his life is over. Okay. And then he deleted
He took over 10 months off.
Yeah. I don't know if this guy's very confident right now. This line feels very recency bias-esque, especially if you take into consideration the level of comp. I think you're talking about the Themba fight.
Yeah.
Waldo has pretty good takedown defense. Waldo's about to expose Ante Delia. We'll see, man. We'll see. Ante was swinging like prime confidence. Pavlovich against Tybura. Chins can be cracked. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, but man, this guy Waldo has a chin on him.
Yeah.
Delia by power of his third nipple. There you go. That third nipple does carry a lot of power. Comments are moving so fast, nobody will see that I'm gay. There you go. Who's liking the under 2.5 minus 135? My concern is Waldo will backpedal and jab if he feels safe. I don't love it. I mean, this guy Waldo couldn't knock out 50-year-old Andrei Arlovsky.
Yeah.
So I don't like the under.
He starched Fat Span though.
Yeah, he did. He did. That was hilarious. Remember when Span did the spinning? It was like a spinning something. It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, dude, he went for that head and arm throw and he face planted. You remember? He like pulled the guy on top of him and face planted. It was the worst. And I had money on him, and I remember I got him. I'm like, all right, I'm done. I lost this fucking bet. You got to be kidding me. You know, it was like stupid Wheezy. You know, you can't bet on Span. He's terrible.
And then I bet on him in the next fight, and he got a first round sub against some bum. Was it Bresky? I think he submitted Bresky.
Oh, that's right. He got Bresky. God bless him.
There you go, Span. He's good in round 1, that's for sure. Can Delia wrestle better than Spivak? No, I don't think so. Does he hit harder than Pavlovich? Absolutely not. Can he keep the pace all 3 rounds? Questionable, because Waldo's not going to slow down. Yeah.
Do you remember that? Was it Delia who fought? Was it the Scheffel fight that went 5 rounds and was just fucking bonkers? Or am I thinking of somebody? I might be thinking of somebody else. I remember
was it the Green fight? Was Maurice Green went the distance with that?
It wasn't the Green one. I might be thinking of someone else, because there's the Ivan Urslan guy who's also kind of reminds me of it. Oh, Henan Ferreira. Do you remember the Henan? Or no, it was the Bruno Capoloza fight. 2021, Bruno Capoloza goes to decision. That fight was fought at an absolutely that's the way. Thank you, Dan. That one was fought at a crazy pace. So I wonder, you know, like maybe Delia can go a hard 3 rounds. If you watch the Capoloza fight in 2021, he indicates that he can. And he went to decision against Green. He went to decision against Shelton Graves since then. So and against Dennis Goltsov. So he's had some 3-round fights.
He doesn't need to hit harder than Pavlovich. He needs to land a longer combination of punches. Delia took a page out of Andreas Gustafsson's game plan in the Tybura fight. He was running in like a madman. Yeah, it was a great performance. And that fight was a pick'em too, that Tybura-Delia fight.
Yeah.
And he starched him. Alrighty. Let's move on now to the main event. Before we do so, if you guys could smash the like button for us. Going to check the likes right here. You know, typically around this time of the show, we like to get at least 100 likes, and we're not even anywhere near close. I mean, 80 likes tonight. Wow. I get it. It's a Monday night. You got new time slot. We're still getting used to it, but I mean, 80 likes is crazy. So let's try to get 20 likes by the or 20 more likes by the time we get out of here. And I do have to end the poll. Actually, I forgot to end the who needs to get help poll.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I definitely voted for Amarim. I think she might need like an oncologist after that performance. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I don't know, but 200 votes. In fourth place, Tom Aspinall with 13%. In third place, Hamdi Abdelwahab, 22%. In second place, Jacqueline Amarim with 24%. And then first place, Jalton Almeida with 41%. There you go.
Yeah,
Jalton Almeida
pissed me off.
Yeah, same. Get some help, Jalton Almeida. All right, main event. It is going to be Steve Garcia versus David Onama. We got Garcia, 33 years old, 6 foot, with a 75-inch reach. David Onama, 31 years old, 5'11", with a 74-inch reach. Onama, 2 years younger. Garcia with a 1-inch height advantage and a 1-inch reach advantage. Garcia, 5-0 in his last 5 fights. A knockout win against Shaliander and Mbeke. Knockout win against Mel Costa. Knockout win against Sungwoo Choi. Knockout win against Kyle Nelson. And then a decision win against Calvin Kattar. As far as Onama, he is 4-1 in his last 5 fights. Decision loss to Nate Landwehr. Knockout win against Gabriel Santos. Decision win against Jonathan Pierce. A decision win against Roberto Romero. And a decision win against Giga Chikadze. And yeah, I think people will look at this main event and be like, why is this a main event? But the reason it's a main event is because this fight's awesome. This is the most violent fight on the card. 2 guys who don't mind going out there and swinging dicks, especially Steve Garcia. I mean, Steve Garcia is one of my favorite fighters to watch. This guy's so fun, so exciting, willing to eat one to give one. If you drop him, he'll get back up and then he'll drop you. I mean, this guy's been dropped so many times in the UFC. I'll never forget the Charlie Ontiveros fight where he was dropped 3 times, got dropped twice by an axe kick, and then got dropped another time by a right hand from Ontiveros as well, and then got on top and finished him in the second round. This guy, Steve Garcia, is a ton of fun to watch, and so is Onama. So I see why they made this the main event. It's going to be a very fun fight for as long as it lasts. Wheezy, what are your thoughts on this fight here?
Yeah, I think these guys are really well matched, and I wish we actually saw more main events like this, because a lot of times what they'll do is they'll put a main event that nobody would care about on a pay-per-view card, and they'll make it the main event of an Apex card, like a next up women's fight, or, you know, some washed veteran to see if some young prospect can get a win. I'd rather see, you know, like 2 guys on winning streaks that haven't got the opportunity to fight for 5 rounds yet actually show if they're ready to take that next step. And that's what we're getting here with Garcia versus Onama. So I think it's going to be a good fight. I don't really have a good read on this, but I did write this fight up already. So I'll just read my summary, Brady. I love this main event. 2 fighters who are getting their first opportunity to headline a UFC card. Both guys are well matched, fight with exciting styles, and have a ton of momentum and positive career trajectory at the moment. So both of these guys are getting an opportunity to make a big statement in a 5-round fight that will get them closer to the top 5 of the 145-pound division. Steve Garcia is on a 6-fight win streak. He's finished 6 of his 7 UFC wins, and he's coming off an impressive unanimous decision win over Calvin Kattar 3 months ago. David Onama is 31 years old. He's on a 4-fight win streak, and he's put together a very impressive 6-2 UFC record over 8 UFC fights. Steve Garcia will be the slightly taller and longer fighter. He throws a lot more volume at distance striking range, and he puts a ton of forward pressure on his opponents. He has a ton of power in his strikes. His ground and pound is relentless, and he's performed very well as a favorite in the UFC. David Onama is younger. He's a little faster. I think he's more athletic than Steve, and I rate him as the guy who is more likely to win minutes and moments with his wrestling and grappling. And he's a switch stance fighter with serious power in his strikes. I think the line is fine where it is because these guys are well matched skill-wise, and neither guy has had the opportunity to fight into the championship rounds at the UFC level. These guys spend about half their time at distance striking range and half their time in control time positions. So I do think that the perceived grappling advantage that I'm seeing on the Onama side is compelling. Steve hits harder and has better power numbers at distance striking range. He's got 7 knockdowns and a 2.7% knockdown percentage compared to 4 knockdowns for Onama and a 0.8 knockdown percentage. But Steve has also been dropped 5 times over 9 UFC fights, and he's getting knocked down, Brady, on 4.5% of the significant strikes that he absorbs. So about 1 out of every 20 strikes that he absorbs sits him on his ass. So I think that Onama probably has the better chin and is the more durable fighter. He's never been finished as a professional. I have no clue who's going to win this fight, though. I'd say the value maybe is on the Onama money line because he's younger. I think he's more athletic. And I think he's got the grappling and durability advantages. But Garcia's pressure, his volume, his power, his solid ground and pound, should he get into top position, make him a very difficult opponent to beat. And you see here at the distance striking numbers, 68% distance striking defense actually for Steve Garcia compared to 55% for Onama. So for the sake of making a pick, I'm going to lean towards Onama with almost no confidence. But I do think that the over 1.5 rounds, which is priced at only -105, is extremely underpriced, especially considering that neither guy has ever been scheduled for 5 rounds at the UFC level. So both might start slower than usual because they're worried about pacing themselves for a 25-minute fight rather than a 15-minute fight. And Garcia and Onama have only been finished once over a combined 39 professional fights. So David Onama, I'm picking him to win by submission in the 3rd round, but like that's with no confidence. I think my favorite play here is just play the over 1.5, which is sitting at -105. That's a 51% implied probability, but over 61 featherweight fights, which have been scheduled for 5 rounds over the last 11 years, 77% of them go over 1.5 rounds. So I think there's some value in that over if these guys both decide, I'm going to start a little bit slower than usual because I'm a little bit worried about making my gas tank last for the full 5 rounds.
I could see Onama doing. I just can't. I don't think that Garcia's going to do that.
Well, then I'm going to lose this over bet. I mean, if I make it, you know. But you're right about that.
He doesn't strike me as the guy that's going to go out there and like point fight for a little bit. I don't know. But,
well, what about the Kattar fight though?
Yeah, that was weird.
Step up in competition there, and he didn't actually really turn on the pressure until the third round.
That's true.
So, and this is another situation where you're not getting a 39-year-old Calvin Kattar. Now you're getting a 31-year-old David Onama, who's a little bit faster, maybe a little bit more power, definitely more of a grappling threat. And that threat of the grappling might also, slow down the output just a little bit. I'm just presenting a case here. I mean,
Yeah.
If I'm saying to bet the over 1.5 in a Steve Garcia fight, any seasoned gambler would know that can go violently tits up very quickly if you bet an over in a Steve Garcia fight. I did it once, Brady, the Mahashate fight.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I mean, you want to talk about a horrible fucking bet? Man, that was bad.
It makes sense because Mahashate has no power.
Right. And I was just kind of thinking like he's tall and long. Maybe, he'll manage some range here, and because, we don't know about his grappling game, maybe we'll see Steve wrestle. I don't know. It was a horrible bet. And, that's why I haven't pulled the trigger. But just on the long-term trend, that over 1.5 is extremely underpriced.
Yeah. I mean, I like violence here, but minus 700 for the fight doesn't go. I thought, okay, let me see what a fight ends by knockout is. Minus 475.
Wow.
Yeah. So
juice to the tits.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's a tough fight to call. It's like Garcia hits a lot harder, but I think Onama's more durable. But we've also seen Onama get dropped by Romero. Nate Landwehr could have finished Onama instead. He was kind of pumping up the crowd instead of finishing him. It was the weirdest thing ever. So we've seen both these guys hurt. We've seen Steve Garcia hurt a ton. So I think it's going to all come down to who lands big first. I think somebody's going to get served in very brutal fashion. I think it's a phenomenal main event. So we got nothing sticking out as of yet. We'll see where the alternate totals are, because I wouldn't mind an under 2.5, but judging by the odds there, it's not going to be a good price. So we'll see. Yeah, minus 700 actually for the fight doesn't go to decision there.
Yeah.
Weezy's picking Onama by submission. That's plus 800.
Yeah, and Garcia's been submitted. Let me see here. What was it? I think once as a professional, but his only loss at the UFC level came by knockout, actually. That was the Mahashate fight.
That was bad look.
And Garcia's a good grappler. He is. He's been grappled by people. He's been taken down. He's been put in some bad spots, but he always survives. And God forbid you make a mistake and then you wind up underneath this dude. Dude, Brady, tell him about Garcia's ground and pound.
Just ask poor Kyle Nelson.
It's nasty, dude. Steve Garcia, you do not want that guy on top of you. He can finish you with ground strikes easily. He's just got phenomenal finishing instincts. The second he gets you hurt, he sells out and looks to get you out of there.
Yeah. Yep, Garcia can hold his own on the mat, but prefers to strike. Absolutely.
Yeah.
As a Kyle Nelson fan, it hurt to see Steve back of the head, elbow KO him. Yeah, he did hit him to the back of the head. I saw that as well. Let's see. Speed kills and the grappling edge. Black don't crack. Yeah, somebody's gonna get cracked here. I'm thinking. I don't know who, but yeah, Onama is the dog. Plus 112. Garcia minus 132. I'm kind of interested to see where the money line goes throughout the week and in the total as well. The under 1.5, believe it or not, opened up at plus 186, and it's now minus 115. The over opened up at minus 220, and it's now minus 105. So money poured in on the under there.
Oh, if I saw that opener, I would have smashed the under at plus 188 in the Steve Garcia fight. I'd be like, man, even if it goes over, I love that bet. But this is completely different. You're talking about 14%, 15% difference in implied probability. It's a big swing.
Yeah. That's crazy. There should be a segment where we should do a whole show about where we just read Dumas's social media posts. Everyone's hilarious. There's not a Dumas social media post that's not hilarious. They're always fun to read.
Black Shakespeare. He's got a way with words, man.
Yeah, he does. Great breakdown, Weez. Yes, sir. Let's see. I just think Garcia's gonna get him. Onama by sub is a great bet. Plus, yeah, I know I had Onama sub against Giga.
Me too.
He tried for it, and it was a big number as well. But maybe he gets it here. We'll see. That's a big number. Garcia looked better than Onama in there against Calvin. Onama didn't fight Calvin.
Yeah, Onama never fought Calvin.
Maybe on the.
They did fight. I think they have one similar opponent.
Maybe he's thinking of something else.
I mean, no, I don't think they have any similar opponents, actually.
I don't know. Brady, you've never bet a UFC over in your life. That's not true. I just recently bet an over in the Paul Craig Modestas Bukauskas fight, and look how that played out. Paul Craig got knocked out with 0 seconds left, which is bullcrap. Because why wouldn't they restart the fight? Like start second round? There was no time left.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, that one was correctly stopped. Even though I think I had Bukauskas by decision at a pretty big number there.
It's a great bet.
And then he knocks out a BJJ guy on the ground, and I was just like, yeah, that tracks. Modestas good by fucking ground and pound, fucking perfect sense,
right? I bet the over in the Julian Marquez Marc-Andre Barrio fight. That hit. Barrio got Marquez out of there late. I parlayed a WMMA over a couple of years ago. I've bet overs, and I've had a lot of success betting overs as well. I trust Garcia more the later it goes. Is old Giga better than Garcia? I thought Giga gave Onama a run for his money. Garcia pipes him. I think somebody's getting piped here. At this point, Garcia showed more credibility to me. Onama might be the dark horse in the division or a little bit better bum than Grinboa. I have no idea. This is going to go to decision. I mean, maybe they have a gentleman's agreement and there's a steakhouse bet, because let's look at some of these decision lines. Garcia by decision plus 700. Onama by decision plus 700. Maybe one of these guys likes steak. We'll see.
Yeah.
Steakhouse bet. This fight goes the distance. They talked about it, and we find out afterwards they're great friends at a steakhouse. Yeah, we could see it, man.
Yeah, it'll be like they'll show the little clip like right before the fight starts, and it's like Steve Garcia will be like, everybody loves my striking, but today I'm going to go out there and show a different side, and everybody with the under is going to be like, no, Steve, no.
Yeah, we can see it, man. Lambert Onama made me an Onama fan. Dude, that's hard. I went back and watched that fight last night, and I was just looking at James Krause in the corner at his reaction. Remember his buddy had like $1 million, he said, on Onama, and James Krause is sitting in the corner like this. No, what are you doing? What is going on? It was the most hilarious. You could tell he had money on the fight by far.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy had
he
so
was
much
trying
money.
to pump him up on the stool. Do you remember? He goes, Dave, you want to quit? You just want to quit? We're just going to fucking quit? Lose to this guy?
Oh, God. It was the most hilarious thing ever. Shout out James Krause. He's a realtor now. He's in the realtor business. So hopefully Krause is doing good. All right. We did it. We went through all 13 fights here. Now it's time to get the parlay, Stat Diggers parlay of the week, the piping of the week, and the milking of the week. The last 2 weeks, it's been weird, man. We've missed the parlay. We've missed the piping and the milking, which it's not often that happens at all. Like it's not often something like that happens. So actually the piping pushed last week. I think we had another push the week before as well. So we got to get back on track here. So let's start with the parlay piece. You'll throw a leg out there. I'll throw a leg out there. And we're going to try to hit this one. So what are you liking for potential parlay piece here? I know we talked about the over in the Vieira Dumont fight. That's minus 360. If we need to, we could throw that in there. What are you liking?
I would like to go with the Isaac Dulgarian money line at minus 240. I just don't see Yadier posing much of a threat in the striking here. Maybe he locks up a guillotine, but I think that this dude's going to be on his back and just either lose minutes or eventually get pounded out. So I think Dulgarian gets the win, and I think it's also a great milking pick too.
Yeah, I'll just throw Elakana out there for funsies, just because I can't imagine Kevin Christian winning a fight. It's like,
yeah,
something would have to go terribly wrong, and it's not like Elakana's like minus 500. So,
and he's fought good competition too, Brady. So
yeah,
at least you can hang your hat on that.
Yeah. So I think he wins. At the end of the day, we're looking for winners, and Elakana and Dulgarian, that comes out to plus money. Let me see. So minus 240.
Minus 102.
Oh, dang it. Close. Yep, minus 102.
We'll have to settle for that 99% ROI rather than the 100% ROI. But I think it's a good play. I think that's a good parlay this week.
Yep. I like it. I like both. All right. Now it is time for, we'll start with the piping of the week. I think we're going to get a lot of pipings on this card. So let's throw out some options here. I think Dante Johnson could potentially pipe up SD Dumas here. I guess Elakana could pipe Christian potentially, but it could also be a frustrating piping where he doesn't do much. Charles Radke could potentially pipe Frunza. He could also milk him, but could potentially pipe him. Yeah, I mean, somebody's getting piped in the Garcia-Onama fight, but we're both not really confident in a pick there. So, yeah, I think it's between Dante Johnson, Elakana, or Radke. I think those would be the three options. Who are you liking out of those guys?
I think Radke's a great option, as is what was the other one you mentioned?
Johnson.
Yeah, I mean, that guy's just fucking scary. I mean, it still kind of remains to be seen whether his skill set is UFC level, but that dude is like hitting people and they're not moving.
Yeah. We can go with either. I don't mind either. Radke's probably a little bit more just sketchy because he's kind of inconsistent, and I don't know if he's the smartest guy in the world. He doesn't really seem like the smartest guy to me, Radke. Like, he should grapple here, but will he? And
I think he's going to. Yeah, I think
okay.
I think he's going to, because Frunza is a good enough striker. I think that's what Charles would say, that he's better than him. And, he's training at VFS. Those guys are really pride themselves on their grappling.
Yeah. So what should we do? Johnson or Radke? What do you think?
Dude, let's give him Radke, man. Everybody knows that Johnson's a knockout artist. Let's give him Radke.
All right, we need to hit it, man. We're on a skid. We got it. Radke needs to get it done.
He's gonna get it done.
All right, Charles Radke to pipe Daniel Frunza on site this Saturday. Hopefully he doesn't get Homer Simpson. Here we go. The piping of the week is Charles Radke to pipe Daniel Frunza on site this Saturday. There you go. That's the piping of the week. That's the piping of the week. There you go. And yeah, it could be a milking as well. Like, especially if he grapples, could potentially milk him, but could also be a piping.
Could sub him on the ground for sure.
Yep. All right, now it is time for the milking. I mean, Phil Rowe loves to milk people, but he's a big dog. Alan Carr could potentially milk. Ardellene could potentially milk. And then Chung Ho Lee, the South Korean Habib, he's known for milking people. There's a lot of potential milkings here. Nasimento could milk Duran. I mean, we got a lot of options. And then you mentioned Dulgarian to potentially milk Delvi. I love that call. I think my two favorite milkings here would be Dulgarian or who's that chick? Ardellene. I think those would be the best two options, though. But yeah, I think we're gonna get a lot of milkings this Saturday.
Yeah, and I could see Alan Carr just milking Carnolossi like she milked Vanessa Demopoulos, because Carnolossi's got bad takedown defense and might not be able to get up underneath a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt world champion. So that's another possibility. Dulgarian or Alan Carr. I'm good with either one.
We can go Dulgarian.
Let's do it.
All right. Let's see here. How does he spell Isaac?
Isaac.
AAC. I know people spell it differently. Dulgarian to milk Yadier Delvi this Saturday. I'm feeling good about these. Feeling good about it. And not UFC 321. Okay,
yeah, UFC Vegas 110.
Let's put the milking of the
followed
week
up by Vegas 111 next week.
Headlined by the
Randy Brown, Randy Rude Boy Brown, and
Bonfim, I think.
Bonfim, yeah.
What the heck are we doing? Like, I can get excited. I can get down for a Steve Garcia-Onama fight. Randy Brown, Bonfim, I guess. Is that really a main event? No, not really, but I don't know. So yeah, the milking of the week, Isaac Dulgarian to milk Yadier Delvi this Saturday. The piping of the week, Charles Radke to pipe Daniel Frunza on site this Saturday. And then the parlay is the Dulgarian money line and the Elakana money line. Let's go 3 for 3 this week there.
Let's get it.
Like in Johnson as a piping. I like Johnson as a potential piping as well. I like it. He should be able to pipe Dumas on site. Like in Radke as the piping. Radke sub 2. I like it. Racky the milking, Racky sub plus 550. Yeah, I bet on a Racky sub prop before. It wasn't fun. I bet a sub prop in the Semmelsberger fight, and
he just punts his head into the cheap seats in the first round.
It's like, yeah, that wasn't really the game plan there, but maybe it's the game plan here. I think it should be. This card is the hardest to get reads on. It can't be any harder than Abu Dhabi last week, but we'll see. Choppa, Buffalo, Nos could all win by sub 2. Yeah, potentially. Dulgarian has a nasty head and arm choke, nasty ground game. Could see a potential submission there. And I like Iraqi by sub, and then, of course, Nasimento. If he's winning, I think it's by sub. So, yeah, there you go. We did it. All 13 fights. Weezy, let the people know where they can find you and what you have going on throughout the rest of the week.
Yeah, YouTube, Uncle Weezy, Odds Shopper, probability stats and content package on oddsshopper.com. If you want to get access to these stats, my betting models, my fight write-ups, my fight picks, Discord, all my 4+ hours of subscriber-only content every week. Check me out on oddsshopper.com. I'll be on VB's show tomorrow afternoon, Brady, and I'll be going live from my subscribers on Wednesday night and Thursday afternoon for Balls Deep breakdowns and for probability. And the only thing left to do is to stack cashed tickets like flapjacks on UFC Vegas 110. I'm circling the wagons for this year, starting now, Brady. We got all the rest of it out of the way. The bad performances, the bad luck, it's out of the way. We're going to be putting a hurting on these bookies for the rest of the year.
And it all starts with 5 units on Billy Elakana
over the terrible Kevin Christian.
I'm just kidding. I'm probably not going to bet that fight, to be honest. But yeah, I don't know. It all starts with, I don't know, 5 units on Alice Ardellene to win 1.2 units.
Oh, no thanks.
All right. How about 5 units on Talita Alencar to win a little over 2 units?
No thanks. How about 5 units on Isaac Dulgarian, one of the best wrestlers in any division in the UFC, to take a guy down whose takedown defense is a guillotine?
I mean, if he gets guillotined, my fist is going through. If I have 5 units on Dulgarian, that'd be hilarious. But yeah, we'll see. It's going to be an interesting card, and the next week will be interesting. And I think we have a really good pay-per-view coming up in a couple of weeks, so a lot to look forward to as fight fans. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to check the likes on the way out. Let's see. Oh, God. 90 likes.
Wow. Yeah, we usually do 100. How many live viewers have we got to it?
We got 371.
Not bad.
Not bad, but I don't know.
It's not a pay-per-view week, you know?
Yeah.
This isn't the one where people are going to be like frothing at the mouth to be able to get everybody's takes, but we appreciate you guys hanging out with us here.
Especially after I've had a lot of people probably got screwed last week. I know I received a lot of mean DMs last week. I think a lot of parlays got ruined, and when parlays get ruined, I get blamed.
Yeah, I got blamed too, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
You put up a 4-8 stinker, people are going to call you a shitheel and a turd burglar, and it's like, who calls people that? Right? You're accusing me of going to a turlet and stealing a turd. Who's got time to do that? You know, that's not even constructive criticism.
You got called a turd burglar.
I mean, you know, it's rough, Brady. It's rough out here on these streets, but that's what happens when you go fucking 4-8 and tell people to bet on Gilton Almeida.
Yeah, maybe Jonathan will throw some ground and pound next time. We'll see. But all right, guys, best of luck. UFC Vegas 110. We will talk to you soon, and we'll see you later. Bye.